yeah. Look who's here, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Hey now. Hey now. Hey now. It's good to be here this morning. Happy Tuesday to you. I am Howard Stern contributor Stephen Woods. I work on Ben and Woods for now. But based on some recent events, phone calls have been made, some emails have been sent out. And listen, I've had a great time working with you guys. I don't know what the future holds, but, you can soldier on without me. If perhaps a call or an email comes in today that I need to take, now you'll know where I am. So it's good to see you guys. That's Paulie Reindl, the executive producer of this program. Good morning, Paulie.
Also a Stern Show contributor.
Very much.
Did you field any TMZ requests?
No, I hadn't checked my DMs. My DMs went a little ham yesterday. Ladies and dudes and, all of it, man. All of it. So, Ben Higgins, not featured on the Stern Show. Good morning to you.
Okay, Baba Woodsy.
I heard Wawa Woodsy yesterday, which I thought was pretty good. That was pretty good. What a cool day yesterday for the Ben and Woods program. Talk about a shocker. I had no idea that was going to happen.
Very polarizing. I got some reaction yesterday. People still have very strong feelings about Howard Stern. Many years later, I'm not like you. I was never regular listener to the show. Yeah. I remember a time where he felt like he was the most edgy personality in America. I don't feel that anymore. I feel like everybody's caught up and everybody
they've
literally on the internet is now the most edgy person in America. But
I said this a couple weeks ago. I tweeted this and I said, there is no edge anymore. There's no edge. Like when Kanye West is like, buy my swastika t-shirt, the edge is gone. There is no edge to be edgy over. Being edgy means you get up as close as you can and you go, ooh, God, that's deep and far down there. There is no edge. When you're selling swastika t-shirts in the year 2025.
That's sprinting right toward the edge of the cliff and then just jumping off.
I mean, there's no edge. What do you do? Like, what can you, and it's why you're seeing the lack of edge really in art and in music. They're force feeding us Jelly Roll. They're force feeding us Post Malone. They're force feeding us this stuff because there's no edge. What is a musical artist going to do? It comes out and you go, that is super original. I mean, it's just super original. The thing I love about Stern and have for my whole life, the thing I've loved about that man, he was always there, dude. Foot, toe dangling over the edge, and all he cared about ever was his audience. That's why I've always loved him. That's why I've always admired him. Yeah, man, it's he do things back in the day that you went, oh God, dude. Yeah, it made me uncomfortable. But that was kind of the whole purpose of his being, was to make people uncomfortable and to kind of expose a lot of the hypocrisy that was out there. And he did a great job of that for many, many years. So really the most original human being that has ever had one of these in front of him and to do what we do. And so, yeah, man, that was a trip yesterday. That was a real trip, hearing my voice and Paulie's voice and our show on the Howard Stern Show, even just for a brief moment.
Crazy.
It was bananas. It was
Thought
bananas.
about it all day.
I did too. Blew my mind. So
now, I guess if you weren't listening late in the 9 o'clock hour yesterday, we kind of figured all of this out and you're just tuning in right now. Why are we talking about Howard Stern so much this morning?
Yeah. So this happened yesterday. We were in the middle of the program and we got a tweet and it said, you guys were just on the Stern Show. And we're in the middle of our radio show. And we're like, what?
We're talking to Sammy about Tirso Ornelas.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, we're like, I had to go back and listen.
But it's you guys.
It's definitely you guys. I'm like, what does this mean?
So I know he's got a staff. He has a huge staff. And I'm so jealous that he has like 40 people out just finding the best stuff to get.
He has like 20 on-air people that you know about, and then probably another 30 or 40
behind the scenes
that their entire job is to
listen to radio,
scour the internet, and just any radio show or podcast that talked about blank. Find a clip, and have it ready, just in case,
and throw it in here, and we're going to be talking about this, and so anyway, we're on the air and we hear it, and we get the text and the tweet, and I said to Paulie, I was like, well, we got to find it, save it for after the show, we'll film the reaction, but it's pretty cool. So if you missed it, this is what it sounded like on the Howard Stern
he was
show.
having a conversation about the Justin Tucker massage therapist NFL story, and essentially how it was difficult for terrestrial radio hosts to dance around the disgusting reality of the details of that story.
But I like regular radio. They're having a hard time with this story. They don't know how to, like, say, you know. Yeah. So they have to come up with childish terms because, you know, I guess the FCC still worries about what children are going to hear over open air, even though all hell has broken loose. This is what they're worried about.
He left what is believed to be a deposit, a proprietary blend of his own personal tartar sauce on the massage.
Oh my God.
That I'm going to throw up.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Table.
Real quick, what was the Adam of that radio station thinking?
Hey, can you not, please?
Can you not say tartar sauce?
Table.
You don't want to get too graphic. I mean, this guy was having a good time on a massage table. You know what I mean?
Massage and left a treat for her on the table. Not a treat. And that's, I don't know any other way to put it. A surprise.
An unwanted
surprise.
Him leaving on the table.
A large wet spot on the table.
Bodily fluids on the table. Residue.
There it was. He commented on mine. He goes, treat. It blew my mind. I listened to it 100 times yesterday. Played it for my kids. They're like, we don't know who this is. They have no idea who this is, what this means.
Massage and left a treat for her on the table. Not a treat. And that's, I don't know any other way to put it. A surprise.
An unwanted
surprise.
What is an unwanted? What is an unwanted?
You flubbed on
So
the
that's
Howard Stern show.
Howard Stern thinks you're a moron.
The funny part is I was driving in this morning thinking about it. I go, if he listened to our show and like was like, this guy is terrible and like ripped me apart, it wouldn't bother me. Not even in the slightest. It wouldn't bug me. It wouldn't get under my skin. Nothing. I would be so elated to have that. But it was cool, man. It was a really cool moment. Means nothing. Like, you know, nothing's going to happen from it, but I just think it's badass.
Adam didn't send you your bonus yesterday?
I did not get a bonus yesterday, Paulie, but I
your
did.
Viral bonus?
I did. I was thinking about how many people heard that yesterday. The correct term is an S load. An S load of people. That man makes $90 million a year. That's what he makes. So how many people must you get? I don't know how this works. How many are you getting? More than 90 people listening to your radio show? If not, maybe he's overpaid. I don't know. I don't know how it
he's
works.
Almost single-handedly responsible for Sirius XM as we know it.
If he goes away from Sirius, it's probably done, right?
It's like $26.99 a month.
Yeah, I do too.
Because of Howard Stern.
So it's
he goes away. I'm not paying $27 a month.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, man. I was really happy about it. It was a fun moment.
Kevin says Ben's voice was heard too. I don't think it was.
No,
it was Paul.
You heard Ben weigh in live here over the clip.
I was not featured. I'm not.
Massage and left a treat for her on the table. Not a treat. And that's, I don't know any other way to put it. A surprise.
An unwanted
surprise.
That's Woods. Yeah. I'm not like bitterly disappointed that I didn't get in. I was excited that our Don't Do This music got into that.
I know. It's wild. Like you hear it in the background. You're like, that's our show. That's our show. That's what kind of really set it home, man. It was pretty nuts. It was fun. I had such a fun time with it. But you're right. Yeah. I mean, Benny, there's people that don't like Howard, and that's fine. Good for them. I mean, that he's the gold standard though for like what you think you want to accomplish in this business is he's done it, and so, I mean, he's one of one. There's no one like him, and there never will be.
Well, one day my dream will come true, and Maggie and Perloff will feature us on their show. So
I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here. If you wanted to be on the Maggie and Perloff show, we could make that happen for you. Like
they could be these incredible
tomorrow.
business people.
There she is. Let's talk back
so
to her.
often, pun intended,
Maggie,
when they're
I'm
dealing
right
with their
here.
own players.
Wait,
Maggie,
I'm not sure I totally agree with that. So you're
Perloff?
saying his evaluation of the Cowboys has gone up so much.
Hold
that-
on, pause. So you've got her giving her take, him saying he doesn't agree, and they're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Why do you think I like Howard Stern? Because he would never
Every
do
NFL
that.
Team's worth billions upon billions. That doesn't make them all great businessmen.
No, I think I'm talking more specifically about some of the things that Jerry's done. Where
Jerry,
he had
they're
to
talking
take
about
on
Jerry
the-
Jones. Football season's over. It's long over.
It is February 25th.
You are done. It does not even need to be spoken about.
We're going to set the menu coming up here in just a couple of minutes. I'm looking to see which segment we will be talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
There it was. Glory hole.
There it was.
It's incredible.
I
Of
saw a
course, they're
picture-
talking about
this
the
is going to be
Cowboys.
mean, and I'm not usually mean. I saw a picture of Stephen Jones yesterday. He's
Yeah.
Jerry's son.
He's Jerry's son.
He looks too old to be running a football team.
He does.
And his dad is the one who actually runs the football team.
They I'll put it this way. They have cocktails at lunch, the Jones family. I'm going to tell you right now, and I know this for a fact. They have cocktails at lunch, and they have for the last 40 to 50 to 60 years. So they drink at lunch.
All right, we will actually set the menu. We got some Padres talk coming up today.
Today.
A couple of home runs yesterday. Of course, we're heading out to spring training right after the show. In fact, I'll explain exactly when we're heading out to spring training in our setting of the menu segment when we come back. Don't go anywhere. It's Ben and Woods. We got Kelly's Traffic coming up. First, though, Woods and I want to tell you about Trust and Will. Over the holidays, we were approached by Trust and Will to kind of explain what they do, the service they provide, and why so many people kind of our age, in their 40s, even in their 50s, haven't set down in writing their wishes if something should happen to them, Woods, and why that's not a great thing for your family.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 2 small kids. I'd kind of like to know who's going to watch them if something happens to Hannah and I. And look, the courts, not your family, get to decide who will raise your children if you don't have this all dialed in. Especially make sure you have the trust as well, because if you do have things to leave behind, you don't want your family in probate court. It can be very expensive and timely. It's not a fun process for anybody. They just lost a loved one.
Yeah, the trust can also save you on property taxes, avoid reassessment that increases your already large property tax bills a lot higher. And it's so simple. All you have to do is go to trustandwill.com, answer some questions, about 20 minutes, fill it out, and then they will send you the legal documents, and then you will have them in a safe place if something should happen to you. And when you use the code San Diego, all one word, at trustandwill.com, you're going to get 10% off their already reasonable prices at checkout. So check them out today, trustandwill.com. Get your affairs in order at trustandwill.com. Well, sometimes I forget what a massive star you are. Now that you're on the Howard Stern show,
Yeah,
it's
no big deal. It's opened up a lot of doors for me.
Just exploding into a different stratosphere now.
Yeah.
Because I got in trouble yesterday at work.
You did?
Yeah. I was asked, why didn't you tell me Woods was going to be in the building?
Who asked you? Was it
A couple people,
Was
actually.
it Vanessa Paz?
No, it was
all right. Then I don't care.
our design director, Steve Liu.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, I didn't realize I needed to send an all-company email to announce. Stephen Woods, by the way, is going to be in the building today. If you'd like to greet him, maybe form a reception line around 1 o'clock.
He will be bringing headshots to sign. Don't talk to him a lot, though. Don't ask him to do anything.
Don't look him directly in the eye. He doesn't like that.
How was your visit to Channel 10's lovely studios in Webster?
It was great, actually. Got in, had a little trouble with the intercom as I pulled in. And I hit the button.
I don't have to use that. I've
Right, you got a card,
yeah.
right. So I pull in, Paulie, and I hit the button. I hear the...
It's Gina at the desk. Probably.
Hi, I have an appointment.
You realize our building's 70 years old. The intercom's probably 62 years old.
I have a 1 o'clock. Guess when I pulled in 12:07 for a 1 o'clock shoot.
Yeah.
So
you probably weren't even on the schedule yet for
Probably.
arrivals.
I'm here to. I have an appointment with Mark and maybe Bill. It's at 1. It's at 1. I'm doing a commercial for QC Kinetics at 1. Thing opens.
Gate opens.
So it
arm
goes
comes
in.
up. You're good.
So I'm like, oh God. So then I go in, or I sit in my car until 12:45, and I get out at 12:45. I walk to the front door. It was like a golf bit, so I have your 7-iron that you gave me, and I'm walking in now. You see a man walking into a building with a 7-iron in his hand.
TV station, they're a little
in a
nervous
TV
about
station,
that,
they'll gets people up on their haunches. So I get to the front door. Another intercom. But I peer in the window. There's no one at the desk. There's no one there.
Gina's on her lunch break.
So I hit the intercom. Nothing. I wait. Nothing. Then the FedEx guy walks out. And I'm like, I can't go in. They have not let me in yet. I cannot just walk in. They're gonna gang tackle me.
Tase you.
They'll tase me.
Yeah.
So I had to stand outside. FedEx guy comes back out to his truck, comes back in. I go, you know what? I'm going in. So I go to the lobby. No one's there. I sign in, and I'm standing there with a 7-iron. So then I send an email. Hey, I'm in the lobby. If anybody wants to come get me. And Bill came out. Very, very nice guy. They took me back to a room, and they wiped my face. I wanted some makeup, but they didn't give me any. And it was weird because the teleprompter was directly in front of me, dead straight, right? My mark was turned to the right. And I said to the guys, I'm not going to be able to read the teleprompter because I don't have eyes in the side of my head. And I'm like, I can't look over, right? They said, no, you have to keep looking directly right. And I said, but the teleprompter's to my left. So what is the purpose of a teleprompter? So they had to tear it down and move it over for me, right? Maybe most people.
What was he supposed to do there?
What should I have done?
I don't know.
Memorize my script.
Usually for me, the teleprompter is literally reflecting right in front of the camera. So I'm looking straight into the camera and seeing the words.
Of course.
You don't see the backside of the words because of the way the reflection works.
Yeah.
But I see the words right in front of the camera.
So they had to move it over to my camera angle. So they did that. And then I did maybe 5 or 6 takes. And after that, I had to do a golf swing, which I'm sure will be mocked mercilessly. There is a possibility, and I told Hannah this when I got home. I have this bad habit. You guys may have noticed it. If I deliver what in my mind is a funny line, I do something called, from her, she calls it the greasy wink. So if I'm like, you've seen it? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've seen it?
Oh, yeah.
All right. No, neither of you guys have ever brought this to my attention. And I go, I don't do that. And now it's in my head. So I was like, my line was something to the effect of, I'm an avid golfer, but my wrists were really in bad shape. I went to QC Kinetics, and look, my golf game still terrible. And then the greasy wink came. I'm pretty sure I did it every take. So as you see the commercial, when we get it, we'll all have to look for the greasy wink. And I told her, I went home, I go, She goes, how did it go? I go, I think it went pretty good, but
and you're doing it subconsciously. You don't even.
I don't
notice.
even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know that I'm doing it. Like I just give it like it's just, she's like, you're a pervert creep when you do it. You're a crumb creep,
See,
coward. And so I think I'm pretty sure in the commercial you're
a real crumb bum.
You'll see me do like a.
When I think I say something funny, I do more of the hopeful eyebrow raise.
He does an eyebrow raise. He does. Did anybody catch
anyone
that?
Catch that?
Yeah.
Yes. Did anyone catch my hilarity?
So I think I
But
did.
you do the little kind of
like it's one of these kind of like a gotcha, and I'm pretty sure I did that. Definitely makes me look like a massive pervert when I do it. So I think that's going to be in the spot. But other than that, man, it went smooth. You guys were pros. It got me in and out. And I was back on the road by 1:15. So it was pretty great.
Nice.
It was a nice area.
I wasn't there until about 2:45. So
our
paths never crossed.
A couple of nice pictures of you in the hallway. A couple of montages that they have that are really cool. Yeah, big star over there, Benny.
Glad you had a good experience.
Me, not you. The big star in the building. Yeah, it was great though. So we'll see how that comes out.
Here's what we got coming up on the slightly, I don't want to say shortened program, but we're on a bit of a time crunch today. We have to get out to Peoria, get to Arizona, get our credentials, get checked into our accommodations for our shows in spring training. So we're actually going to leave at 9:00 today. And we're going to play a little best of Ben and Woods hour from 9 to 10. Paulie set up some great stuff. Anything you might have missed, you probably our best hour, honestly. That's why we call it best of.
Absolutely.
Not like, worst of hour. So, but before then, that means we got to cram everything else into the first, next 2.5 hours of the show, including Padres talk. Yesterday's game against the Cubs had a couple of guys who are battling for those last roster spots who went deep. And we heard from both of them, or at least one of them after the game, some sound that Sammy collected. And speaking of Sam Levitt, he will join us near the end of our stay around 8:35 from Peoria for his daily check-in from Padres spring training. We also did get an update last night from the Aztecs about Magoon Gwath's injury. And it's certainly not the worst possible scenario, but we'll kind of give you an update of what that means for the Aztecs going forward. He won't be back in time for tonight's game, certainly against New Mexico, but there is a chance he will return this season if there are meaningful games to be played in March for San Diego State. So we can talk Aztecs in our 7:00 hour, all of our regular features, including Don't Do This, Take on Woods, and I don't know, we're going to skip the Reindl Report today since it's in the 9:00 hour. Did you get off easy?
Yeah,
we'll see. Paulie's got some extra headlines. We can always throw them in
figure something out.
Exactly. So that's what we've got for you today. We'll start with some Padres and talk a little bit about what went down yesterday in Peoria. We will do that coming up next here on Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 0000466.
Right now, though, let's talk about 7 Mile Casino. We're going to make a very, very long drive today, and I will be jealous that you only need to make a 7-minute drive to get to San Diego's best card room, our place right down there in Chula Vista off the 5 freeway, 7 Mile Casino to play California-style blackjack, Texas Hold'em poker, Pai Gow, and Baccarat. They got the tables set up for you, ready to go. You walk right in the door, and you are playing. It literally is the easiest, most convenient place you can if you like to play cards.
Well, it's not only convenient when you get there. Getting there is not only convenient. Once you walk in the door, they make it really convenient for you as well. It's a great place to sit and play cards. Great place to just sit in a booth. They got a really cool bar area with some nice booths. They got an outdoor patio that overlooks the bay. I mean, it's convenient as hell. That's a great spot. It's a smoke-free environment as well. Great class of people in there hanging out too. It's really, really a fun time. So make it a priority this year. Get on over to 7 Mile Casino. It's just 7 minutes from downtown. Yeah, a little feeling of senioritis in here right now. Last day of school type scenario. The car's packed. It's ready to go. You're fired up. It's a fun trip. It's a cool trip. And you're like, oh yeah, gotta work first. Gotta do that. What I'm saying is I have 1 foot out the door.
I
right
understand.
now. Just so you guys know, I have 1 foot out the door.
I guess this is a work trip.
When
I go on a vacation, I don't typically travel later in the day, so I don't typically work the same day that I leave for my trip.
It's not great.
So why are we working today?
It's a great question. If today was a work trip, we should have just left.
Doing 1 hour best of. We should just done 4 hours. Be on the road right now.
Yeah, just getting after it. We'd be at Cafe Adesso right now, sucking down lattes and stuff, and some nice blueberry muffins.
Instead, we're going to be on a tight schedule.
Yeah,
Adam does not give us the credit we deserve.
He really doesn't, dude. He really doesn't.
Not even a thank you.
Nope.
Oh, by the way, because that last hour is going to be best of, I do want to warn everybody that our biggest fan, we're going to announce it at 8:45 this morning because we need the 10 minutes to give you a chance to call in.
Yeah.
So let everybody know that if you're tuning in for the biggest fan at 9 o'clock, you should tune in a little earlier. You should be listening to the whole show, honestly, every day. But just keep in mind, biggest fan comes a little bit earlier today at 8:40 for your chance to qualify for the night in the Odyssey Suite at a Padres game later this season. All right, let me ask you a question, Woods.
Shoot.
Who's going to be the if you had to bet money on it, who's going to be the opening day left fielder for the San Diego Padres? First lineup for Mike Schilt against the Atlanta Braves.
It's going to be
don't know who the Braves are throwing necessarily in that game, but let's assume it's a right-hander.
It's going to be Jason Hayward.
You think it's going to be Jason Hayward?
Yeah.
What if a left-hander's throwing for the Braves?
Maybe Connor Joe.
Okay, so you're going veteran.
Of course.
Because neither of those guys, has really appeared much. Connor Joe I don't think he has a hit yet in spring training. And not that matters at all, but we've seen some interesting things already from Eguy Rosario, who played left yesterday and hit a home run. Not only did he hit a home run, but he did so off a right-handed pitcher, Ben Brown of the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
It was his third hit of the spring, including a double, now a home run, and a single. All of them have come off right-handed pitching.
Which is really the knock against Eguy.
It has been.
He really only hits lefties.
He all 13 of his career extra base hits have been off left-handed pitching. He's mashed left-hander. He's an all-star.
Yeah.
Basically against left-handed pitching, but you don't see a ton of left-handed pitching, and he has been abysmal against right-handed pitching, which makes him not an everyday player, at least up to this point. Now, he's still just 25 years old, also happens to be the longest tenured member of the Padres organization. He goes all the way back to A.J. Preller's first year when they signed him as an international free agent, like when he's 15, turning 16. Yeah. Now he's 25, going on 26, and is down to his last options, essentially. If he doesn't make the team, the Padres can't, just send him down to AAA without designating him for assignment. So if you want to keep Eguy Rosario, there's a chance he has to make the opening day roster. Now, he can play the infield. He can back up, Manny Machado. He can back up Jake Cronenworth at second base. He's a versatile, useful player, which definitely, I think, gives him an advantage going for a utility role. But if he's hitting, and he's hitting against right-handers, you may want that bat in the lineup. And the only place you could put it would be left field, which is why Mike Schilt is experimenting with Eguy Rosario out in left field, even though that's not his natural position. Yeah, look, and there's a couple of different names that are interesting. Tirso had a nice bomb yesterday. Oscar Gonzalez has put some nice swings on the ball. The Perlaza kid as well has some really nice raw power. I think, there's not going to be room for all of those guys, as you know. Again, we always say we do this as sports radio hosts, and I think as fans we do it too, right? The open competition out there, guys. It's open. Best man wins the job. When does that? It rarely happens. What they'll probably do, and I'd love to be surprised, and I have been surprised by this team many times. If you're Mike Schilt and you're A.J. Preller and you went out and you signed Jason Hayward and Connor Joe, a couple of veterans, it's the safe move to go out there and put them, at least for the start of the season, Ben. I want Jason Hayward out there. He knows what he's doing out in the outfield. He's a experienced outfielder. He had some hits in some big games, World Series champion. You can
you can justify that, right? You can justify that. It doesn't look like a moronic move. You're not moving things around. Yeah, I started Brett Sullivan out there in left field today. No, it's Jason Hayward. The guy is a world-class defender and blah, blah, blah. They usually go with the safe kind of move. So when we say open competition, okay, I really do think it's just something you say, because rarely does the guy that hits, let's say Eguy rips through spring training, Benny, and he's hitting 612 with 4 home runs and 18 RBI. Like, do you still think, yeah, I'm penciling him in opening day? I don't. You just rarely see it in baseball, especially on a team with championship aspirations.
And there's no guarantees with any of these guys, but I think it's interesting to note that about 3 weeks ago, we were looking at left field going, I guess it's Tirso or Nellis's position to lose.
Pretty much.
They've signed no one. There's no real options out there. It's a big question mark for the Padres going into spring. And here we are now, only 4 spring training games in, and you look at the left field and you go, okay, well, I mean, there's a bunch of guys who are stepping up to try to at least, throw their hat into the ring, put their name into the conversation as being the opening day left fielder for the San Diego Padres.
Well, and sure, and again, just because it's maybe Hayward in left field on opening day against a righty, it doesn't mean Eguy can't DH. It doesn't mean that some of these other guys can't make the squad and DH from time to time, certainly. There's only so many spots. And look, I'm not advocating for any of this. I'm kind of the opinion, Ben, I would like to see the hot hand, the best man for the job, the person that has earned the position. I think that is really the best way to do it. But I can certainly understand going, I got to go with my veteran. I have to go with my veteran guy right now. I can't run the risk of, an Eguy Rosario booting a ball in the 3rd inning that leads to 3 runs when I had Jason Hayward sitting right there, right? We'll see how many reps he gets out there. I would imagine they're going to continue to try to use him out there because, honestly, Benny, they don't really need him in the infield. Yeah, he can do it. He can back them up, but you got Tyler Wade. You got a couple of other guys you probably feel more comfortable with. If he's the old adage is, if you hit, you don't sit. And he can hit. He can hit. So I love that he's trying to force his way onto this team, and he's been here a long time. He deserves it.
And Eguy did talk about after the game with our Sammy Levitt, with Danny translating, that in the Dominican Winter League, he was really focused on facing right-handers, and that was like something he was especially working on, and thought he was making a lot of progress. He was one of the top hitters, actually, in the Dominican Winter League until I believe Mike Schultz said his season was cut short. He had appendicitis and had his appendix out, but he's fine now.
Yeah.
And, had a good Dominican Winter League season, and he's kind of carried that over into spring training. So if he's made a bit of a leap against right-handers, that does make him more of a big league everyday option than we were considering about Eguy Rosario going into this season.
That'd be cool.
I don't know.
It'd be cool. I mean, it'd be cool to see. It would be great to see. And he's been up with the club, plenty of times, and he knows what it's all about. And I do think it would be fun. And we can ask Schulte about this. We're going to talk to him this week, I'm sure, of like, hey man, when you say that someone can actually earn a position in base, you don't even have to answer for yourself, but in baseball, do you guys actually mean it when you say it? Because that would lead me to believe, all right, I got 5 left fielders. Who had the best spring training? That goes to, Ben Higgins, hit 497. All right, Benny, you're the guy until you're not,
There's a limit to that. If
that's
Oscar
it.
Gonzalez,
what are the limits?
Tirso Ornelas, and Jonathan Perlaza have the 3 best springs, they're not going to be your 3 starting outfielders on opening day.
Right.
Jackson Merrill and Fernando Tatis Jr. will be out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
but even at one position, though.
Not even left field. How about catcher?
How about
Ethan
catcher?
Salas has the best spring training.
That's the one that I still don't know
That's
about.
the one. That's the one where
is there anything he can do?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think
Is there anything he can do over the next, 4 weeks?
And they don't we know about the San Diego Padres. They don't care about, we don't want to start his clock too early. They're not that. They're not the Pirates. They're not going. If they thought Ethan Salas was ready, if they sat in a room and they looked at themselves in the mirror and they looked at each other and they go, he is legitimately ready to be a big leaguer.
He's the best catcher we have.
He'd be a big leaguer. I really think so. I don't think it's not service time manipulation.
It's not just that he looks like he's ready. There are a lot of things about Ethan Salas that make him look like he's ready. There's just no way to overcome the fact that he's 18 years old. I think the Padres, I mean, they'd have to be so overwhelmingly sure that he was ready. They could be 80, 90% sure he's ready for the big leagues.
Yeah.
And they're still, I don't think, going to.
I mean, we're
give
talking
him that
that's like
chance.
Bryce Harper status.
He'd be 18, 19. I mean, that's Pudge Rodriguez. Pudge Rodriguez came up, I think, when he was 19 and really was outstanding, and never really relinquished that gig. So it's not like it's not possible. But again, and do you sit there and do you look at last year and go, well, guys, I mean, he couldn't even hit, high A pitching very well at all. But what if he comes out and he's raking? I mean, he was hitting, big leaguers the other day. If he keeps that up the next few weeks, yeah, man, look, that's every player's job right now is to make life as difficult on AJ Preller and Mike Schilt as they can. That's their job. I need to make it as hard on these guys to make a decision as I can do. And that's the job of probably legitimately 15 guys in camp that are like, yeah, there's 15 of us that could or could not make this roster. You got to make it tough on those.
Think about where we were a year ago today. Jackson Merrill forced himself onto that team.
No question.
And never looked back.
And again, my take on Jackson Merrill was always, oh no, this is bad. We are really in dire. We are a dire. And I said it on the air. I go, this feels like a total panic move by the San Diego Padres.
Traded Juan Soto, and you're throwing a rookie infielder.
He's a shortstop
to play center field on opening day. Okay, guys.
And I'm telling you, I mean, I for honestly, probably the first couple of weeks was like, this is going to be terrible, man. This is going to backfire.
This is Jackson Merrill.
And it obviously I was wrong. They were right. I love that. Continue to prove us wrong. But I like your question because I think there's, the thing that I don't know, and I wish I was more well-versed on, Ben. So what happens if Perlaza has and Gonzalez, they have a really, really good, do we have them? Can we send them down? Are they out of options? How does this work? I don't know exactly who could you keep, or do you lose guys like that?
I mean, there's certainly, you're not going to be able to keep all of them even in the minor leagues. There are going to be some tough decisions, certainly at the end of spring training, but some of those usually sort themselves out over the next few weeks.
That's true.
Padres ended up losing the game to the Cubs 10-5, but it wasn't the disaster that it sounds like from a pitching perspective. We can talk about that after Check of Traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Crystal Geyser, Alpine Spring. Just one problem to mention here, guys. It's this overturned crash northbound side of the 805 at La Jolla Village Drive. I'll be honest, my sources are saying the right lane's blocked, but somebody else is saying the left lane is blocked. Suffice it to say, you've got a lane blocked there, so expect some slowing northbound side of the 805 La Jolla Village Drive. Along with that, we got some heavy fog around parts of the county, so something you need to take into consideration. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source, and all their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So half of the runs the Cubs scored yesterday came in the 6th inning off J.B. Wendelken, who's a journeyman veteran who came in on a minor league contract. It's probably a fairly long shot to make the team. Gave up a 3-run home run to Michael Busch. The starter, though, was Randy Vasquez. And Randy Vasquez wasn't dominant. He pitched 2 innings, gave up 5 hits, but just 1 run. But inside that, he got a lot of swing and miss, a couple of strikeouts, I think 7 overall swing and miss pitches. And, the evaluation from Mike Schilt afterwards was, we liked what we saw. You know how they talk about good shapes.
Oh yeah,
from Randy Vasquez for a first start. They were not unhappy with what they saw from Randy Vasquez.
Schilt didn't chew his ass out and rip him a new one. Oh man,
shocking!
I'm shocked.
But I saw some of the videos. Clark Farenthold put up some of the good changeups. Some good pitches from Randy Vasquez. And what we've really seen in these spring games has essentially been the competition for the 5th starter's job. We've seen Matt Waldron. We've seen Randy Vasquez. Today we will see Stephen Kolek against the Los Angeles Angels. The first bunch of games has really been devoted to letting the guys who are competing for that last roster spot. We have not seen on a spring training game Not seen Dylan Cease, Michael King, Yu Darvish, or Nick Pivetta in any spring training game. They've pitched on the backfields. Yu Darvish pitched a couple of innings in an inter-squad game on a backfield.
Live BPs.
Dylan Cease did it live BP the day before. We probably won't see them until March in spring training games, according to Mike Schilt. So right now, the pitching you're focused on is essentially the guys who are competing for that fifth starter's job. And I don't think anyone has won it or lost it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I some of the bullpen arms I heard look pretty good. Marinaccio looks pretty good so far. Seems to be a pretty valuable piece. And with our boy,
Oh, there he is.
Both Hoeing and Reynolds,
and Reynolds being down, I mean that opens up
a spot.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So, yeah, I mean, look, this is the fun part. I love it, man. And it's funny when we're talking about pitchers in spring training, we're like, doesn't matter. I mean, he threw some nice changeups. We had some nice shape on his pitches. When we're talking about hitters in spring training, it's like, this guy's barreling everything. He needs to be the starting left fielder. He needs to be the starting left fielder right now. So yeah, we'll see how they continue to progress, but it's going to be fun to watch to see who actually makes the squad.
And we'll see, how Stephen Kolik's a little bit more of an experiment, I would say.
Yeah.
He's definitely not the favorite to win the job. Remember, he was the Rule 5 draft pick last year. Was kind of hidden in the back of the bullpen for most of the season. Ended the year on the injured list as the Padres made their run to the postseason, but that allowed the Padres to keep him now, and they have the ability to both put him on the roster or send him down to AAA this year because they kept him on the major league roster all the last season.
So we've lost 2 in a row, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
yes.
Great. I mean, this is not a trend you want to continue, see continued.
Dodgers are 1-4 now, I think.
I mean, they're the hot seat.
They are really struggling.
How fantastic is that?
It's fantastic.
Now, they did beat the Padres for their only win of spring training.
Yeah.
But, yeah. The
boy, have you seen their prospect? Sire Hope. Have you seen him?
I have not seen him.
You know of him?
Yes,
Oh my God. Every ball this kid hits is like 105 plus. Every single time.
So happy for them.
Every time. Yes. Nice for a guy to finally hit for those guys. I saw some video of him and I went, oh. Okay, super cool. Tanner Scott made his debut for the Dodgers yesterday, surrendered a 2-run home run, but came back to get a couple of guys. I don't think they're super panicked, nor should they be. Glass now actually took the L yesterday. Again, don't think they're super panicked about that either. But yeah, they got drubbed by the Reds 8-1.
And Padres still dealing with some flu bug. I think we should keep our distance while we're there from a couple of the guys. Luis Campusano is also battling. He has not appeared in a spring training game yet because he was also, along with Fernando Tatis Jr., dealing with the flu.
That's tough, too, because that's a guy that is grinding for a gig. And when you can't be in the lineup at all and your other people are getting your reps, that's tough. Fernando's probably fine. I think I
think he'll be okay.
His spot on the team is
Campy
secure.
was back in camp, they said yesterday. Fernando, they think, might still need a couple more days before he's going to make his Cactus League debut for the Padres, hopefully sometime later this week. But apparently he got hit pretty hard by this one, especially. And, when 1 and 2 guys get it, probably a few more. When they're all in that clubhouse and their lockers are close to each other, spreads pretty quickly.
It's going to be cool when we get out there and set up shop and no players can come interview because everyone has the flu. What are we going to do then? Literally be thinking about it, because what are we going to do? Oh, sorry, he's sick. Can't make it. Awesome.
There's a lot of people there.
Are you panicked now?
We'll just have to talk to JoJo and some of the
we'll get the trainers out. So rub downs.
They might be sick too.
Yeah.
Who knows?
This is great.
All right. We will come back. Hour number 2. Reasonably good news about Magoon Gwath for the Aztecs, but they still have some issues going forward. We'll talk about that in tonight's game against New Mexico next with Ben Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Heard Chris Ello go on a massive rant yesterday about the officials in the Utah State San Diego State game not stopping play when Magoon Gwath got injured. As an official himself, he just lit those guys up. We talked about it a little bit yesterday on the show.
You were also very upset.
Chris took the rant to a next level spot. Of course, Aztecs fans holding their breath since Saturday night, waiting for what could have been really bad news. They initially diagnosed Magoon Gwath, that injury that happened in the first couple of minutes of the game, with a hyperextended right knee. But that's what you say before you actually see the MRI and you see a tear and an ACL or an MCL, and that's surgery. That's months of recovery, and hopefully he's back for next season. So he had the MRI, got the results back yesterday, and the news was reasonably good for Magoon Gwath and the Aztecs. Just still the hyperextended knee, needs a little rest and a little rehab, but if things go well in about 10 to 14 days, if he's feeling it, he could be able to return. Now, that won't be in time for obviously tonight's game against New Mexico. They play at Wyoming this weekend. Brian Dutcher has already ruled Magoon Gwath out of those games, and really the last 2 regular season games after that are probably unlikely as well. But it does at least open the possibility that Gwath could be back and healthy enough to participate in the Mountain West Conference tournament, which is, I think, starts 2 weeks from Thursday for the Aztecs in Las Vegas. And then if they do make it, hopefully he'll be feeling even better and more healthy for any potential NCAA tournament matchup. So, for me, that I was considering that good news. My fear was that Magoon Gwath was going to be out for the season and they weren't going to have their rim protector, really the best player that's been on the team for the past month plus for the rest of this season, and they were going to have to figure out a way to get by without him. Now there's the possibility, Woods, that he does come back.
The next 4 games, just massively, massively, massively important. So just as big as you can get, right?
Yes and no. Tonight's a big one.
The bubble's
kind of
soft.
So I was reading, Field of 68 has them currently as a 9 seed.
Which is still off the bubble a little bit.
It's off the bubble.
Yeah.
Jerry Palm's got him as a 10.
More on the bubble.
Lenardi has him as an 11.
That very bubble.
That's bubble.
And headed to Dayton, Ohio for a first.
That's a last. That's last
game.
4
that's
teams
last 4.
in.
Oh man, you don't want to be one of those last 4.
But at least the top, bracketologists that you've heard of, I think they all still have San Diego State in the tournament. How many more losses can they absorb for that to still be true?
Correct.
And I think the general rationale, if they win all 4 of their regular season games, including tonight at home against New Mexico, a game that Paulie and I were wondering, well, how much are the Aztecs going to be underdogs at home? They're never underdogs at home, but New Mexico crushed them at the pit.
Yep,
they've been the best team in the Mountain West. They're first place. They're cruising. How big will New Mexico be favored with Magoon Gwath out in this game? And the correct answer is
they won't.
They won't be favored. The Aztecs.
My guess was 4.5, 6.5. Like is probably generous, but 4.5 to 6.5, somewhere in there.
Aztecs are still favored to win the game. They're 2-point favorites last time you checked.
2-point favorites, yeah.
And that's I think that's a lot of
get it.
That's a lot of respect given to Brian Dutcher and his coaching staff for being able to try to come up with a game plan. It's a lot of respect given to the show and Viejas Arena, and knowing that no matter the fact that the Aztecs have struggled in a couple of home games this year, it's still really hard to win on the road, especially at Viejas Arena, for any team in college basketball. And they're not going to make even New Mexico a favorite in this game tonight. If the Aztecs win their last 4 regular season games, they should be in the tournament.
Yes.
No matter what happens in Las Vegas in the Mountain West tournament. They win 3 out of the 4, especially if one of them is tonight.
Yeah.
Probably in pretty good shape as well. They split the last 4. Now you're probably looking at a scenario where you better win the Mountain West tournament
just to be safe.
You want to get into the NCAA tournament.
Does it help the Aztecs' case tonight that, obviously you don't want to lose a player of Magoon Gwath's caliber, but it's going to be a different look than New Mexico saw the last time they played San Diego State, right? And how do you game plan for a look that you don't really know what they're going to do? Is that a slight advantage for the Aztecs tonight, depending on whatever Brian Dutcher is installed. And, obviously the shots got to fall and the shots have to be good and you have to rebound and all the things that you need to do. But could that be a slight advantage for the Aztecs tonight? A little bit of the element of surprise.
Yeah, I think, like in football where you beat a team twice and they come out with a different look, that can at least be a challenge for the opponent. You can't just say, let's just do what we did last time. It worked for us. San Diego State will be a different looking team than they were at the Pit earlier this season. So that could possibly be helpful. I think so much now is going to be dependent on a bounce back from Miles Byrd.
Yes.
He struggled, and as Mark Ziegler pointed out in the UT, a lot of that, they don't talk about it much, but Byrd has not been particularly healthy over the last few weeks. He's been dealing with a couple of nagging injuries, including, he keeps trying to wrap his thumb, swollen right thumb. It's badly sprained. Can't really shoot with the tape on, but can't really shoot with it off. Has, struggling when I think 1 for 9 from 3-point range against Utah State. They're going to need him to step up with Gwath out. They need some scoring.
Yeah.
Boyd's played pretty well lately. Good. He's been good, but they need Miles Byrd to be the Byrd that they saw earlier in the season. Who knows if he can get healthy enough to be that player again? But if he is, then absolutely, San Diego State can still beat at least any Mountain West team, and then we'll see if they can get Magoon back in time for the tournament. Maybe they'll be a complete enough team that they can make a bit of a run in March like we've seen the last couple of years. Don't know, but it's not out of the question.
You just want them in the dance, man. You just want you want them in the tournament. You for the city, for the university, you want them in the tournament.
It is so much fun to have a rooting interest for the tournament.
So much fun.
You don't want to be the team that's just
like,
looking in through the window.
I know.
It sucks.
Playing in the NIT, forget
it. All starts tonight. I think tonight is the biggest game of the year. And then I can't remember if you mentioned it or not. New Mexico, they didn't play on Saturday. So while San Diego State's had 2 whole days to prepare for the best team in the Mountain West after facing on the road the second best team in the Mountain West, New Mexico hasn't played since last Wednesday. So,
in which you say that's good. Late in the season, extra rest, extra prep time. It's good. Every time the Aztecs have the extra rest and extra prep time, they come out looking like they forgot how to play basketball in the next game in the first half. So I don't know if it ends up being a good thing or not. I do think it's amazing that we've gotten spoiled.
What trends? We had 2 trends clashing tonight. The Aztecs almost never lose back-to-back games.
Right, that's true.
Almost never back-to-back.
That stat has continued even through some of the ups and downs this year.
Yep. And then you have a very good team that kind of waxed you the first time they played you at their house. So I don't know how it goes
I think San Diego State plays a good game tonight. Will it be enough to beat New Mexico? I thought they played a pretty good game against Utah State, and a couple of role players just had the games of their lives, and you lost Magoon Gwath, and you ended up losing that game. Could that happen for New Mexico? Sure. But I think San Diego State plays a good game tonight in front of their home fans and has a chance to win it. It won't be easy, though. No chance it'll be easy. We've gotten spoiled, though, Paulie. When I grew up, there was almost no chance San Diego State ever made the tournament. Now you feel like
it's expected. That's what you want.
Yeah, you feel
you're
going to be really disappointed if they don't get in. And it won't be because they had a horrible season. If they miss out, then they miss out. And don't rake Brian Dutcher over the coals. It happens to almost every team. North Carolina's on the bubble this year.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that their program has fallen apart. It's just a bit of a rebuilding year for San Diego State. And either way, we are again trending toward at least a rooting interest in San Diego. And I'll point out again, the UCSD Tritons, who got 8 votes in the AP poll yesterday. They're up to 30th in the coaches poll, 34th in the AP poll. And if you look at their net rankings, I saw this yesterday. This amazed me. San Diego's UCSD is up to number 36 in the net rankings. For comparison, San Diego State's at 49.
Wow.
New Mexico's at 42. You know who's at 37, one behind the Tritons? UConn.
Wow.
UConn is now behind UC San Diego in the net rankings.
Hey,
two-time defending national champions.
Again, you talk about an uneven, rough season. They've had one as well. It does.
Yeah,
happen.
they're not having a good year.
No.
They're ahead of Gonzaga in the polls now.
That's amazing.
Gonzaga's not having a great season either.
Congratulations to them.
So
what an amazing year for the Tritons.
So is this a soft tournament? I mean, who's the?
Yeah, the bubble they're saying is a little bit soft.
Yeah.
UCSD, even though their metrics are good because they just have been clobbering everybody, the strength of schedule is probably going to work against them pretty badly. If they needed an at-large bid, that committee's going to look and go, well, who do they play? They won at Utah State, really, really good win. They gave San Diego State a really close game early in the season at Viejas Arena, and then they won, a league game against UC Irvine. But outside of that, there's not a lot you can point to other than clobbering the UC Davises and Cal State Northridges of the world.
Are you asking more like, is it kind of an open tournament?
Yeah,
up for grabs.
The top is pretty good.
The top, I was gonna say, the top is very top heavy.
10 teams are pretty good this year.
I mean, the Dukes, the Auburn, the Alabama, Houston, Tennessee, like they run a different game.
It's SEC. It just means more.
Yeah.
In basketball, they're gonna have to switch
after
it.
that, though. I think it's pretty open after that.
That's good.
Yeah, I think the first couple of rounds there'll be plenty of wild things happening, but it'll probably be one of those tournaments. Then when you get to
a little chalky,
the Elite Eight, it'll get a little get kind of chalky near the end.
All right. Good to know as I fill out my brackets.
It is. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but it's always one of my favorite times of the year. I love March Madness,
as do I.
Enjoy that. So we'll keep an eye out, and we will. It's a late one for us tonight. In Mountain Time, they don't tip off until 9:00 tonight.
Is that more like 9:15?
Which is more like 9:15 usually.
I will look forward to your entire recap. After got up at 2 this morning, do the show, 6-hour drive, get all dialed in, ready, prepared for tomorrow. Don't know who we're interviewing tomorrow, so if we get that information, got to do some prep on those guys, and then a 9:15 start time.
Yeah,
night.
I'll be up.
I know you will. Absolute vampire. That's exactly right. Listen, we were just talking about the big tournament that's going to be happening in March. I'd get on Underdog now. If I were you. Underdog is the one of the leading sports apps you can play now here in our state. If you want to win up to 1,000 times your money, you can with Underdog. When that thing goes down in March, that's going to be a lot of fun. All you got to do is choose whether players will go higher or lower on their stats, like points, assists, rebounds, and more. Got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. Want to make sure you're locked in on Underdog before baseball starts. You can create entries with all basketball picks, mix and match across any of those other sports. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Their app now has over 100,000 5-star reviews and millions of players. It's a lot of fun. Download the Underdog app now. Sign in using the promo code WOODS, WOODS, to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code WOODS. Claim your special offer today. Get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Don't do this. It's brought to you by Trust and Will. Don't leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die. Do set up a trust or will online at trustandwill.com. It's a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. And I'd like to welcome anyone from the Howard Stern program who's listening to this segment, as they must do regularly in order to take snippets for their show.
Well, and again, Howard, you're going to be disappointed, but I'm going to have to edit out some salty language that you don't have to edit out. It's the one thing It's one of 7,000 things I'm completely jealous of you in your career, that you get to actually say the words that you want to say. But this is a pretty big one, man. Ex-NFL player, current Denver Broncos linebackers coach, Michael Wilhoit. He was arrested over the weekend after assaulting a police officer. It was at the airport. So essentially what it looked like is he pulled up to the arrivals level.
The white zone is for the immediate loading
and
unloading of passengers only.
So
there's no parking in the white zone.
I don't know if dude was running late. I don't know if he was running in to meet somebody, but he got out of his 2021 Ford Bronco, built Ford tough, and he left it unattended. And the cop said, hey, you can't just leave your car there. And Wilhoit told him, shut the bleep up, twice. All right, can't do that, number one. That's going to get a cop back on his haunches there. Cop then claims that Wilhoit bumped his chest into him, causing him to step backward. The cop then said he pushed Wilhoit, like, hey, get off me, man. And then Wilhoit responded by punching him in the right side of the face with a closed left fist, forcing him to the ground. He then tased Wilhoit as he tried to get back in his vehicle, hitting him in the upper left side. After the effects wore off, the cop claims Wilhoit closed the door to his car and tried to drive away.
Couple of thoughts here. First of all, the taser only briefly slowed him down, and he still was able to get up and drive away.
Yes.
Even if you disagree with the policy of being able to stop for a minute or two, I think we all wish at some points in our life, we've gone to the airport and just wished, just for like 3 minutes, can I just take my luggage in, leave my car there, and come right back to it?
No, that's moronic.
No
one's ever wished that.
Everyone's wished that.
No one's wished that.
No one's wished that?
No one has ever wished to pull into that part, leave their car, run inside, check in. The way you get your luggage, check your luggage?
In some ways, I mean, if you're waiting for someone, you don't want to have to keep circling.
So the waiting is different.
You want to be able to stop occasionally. And you feel like, I'm not trying to pull a fast one here. I really am going to get out of here quickly.
But you're not. You can't. It's think about you are going there to pick up your kids that are back from a trip, and you're sitting there. Guess what I'm doing right next to you? I'm sitting and waiting for my family to also come back. And then Paulie's waiting for his family.
This is why you can't do it, even though you'd like to. Like, you're picking your kids up and your family. You know they're right in there at the baggage claim. Hey, I'll just leave my car in. I'll run in. I can help them with their bags and stuff. You just can't do it, though.
Can't leave cars
because if everybody did it, it would be chaos.
It would be a parking lot of cars, 5 people ready to go and 3 cars in front of them, and you can't go.
So you certainly, when you disagree with the policy, you can't hit the cop who's just trying to enforce the policy and do his job.
Look, here's a hack for you. Go park in the cell phone lot, and when your party gets there and they walk outside, hey, text me, and I'll just drive up. I make the loop like a madman. I actually sometimes see how many loops I have to make when I'm picking up my parents or something. I'm like, we'll go over or under 6.5 loops, and as I loop around looking for my dad.
I'm not arguing that the policy should be changed. I understand the policy. I am acknowledging that we all have been at times frustrated by the policy momentarily and wish that there could be an exception made just for us. But I know that doesn't work that way. And I can't hit the cop who's there to enforce the policy.
You hit a cop, you're going in.
Yeah.
Okay? So he's in some trouble.
All right, for my don't do this, I am going to actually it was a clip I saw yesterday on social media posted by a guy named Rick Golfs.
His name is Rick Golfs?
It's not his name. It's just post golf content.
Well, I'm Steve Radio. Nice to meet you.
This was a clip from the Mexico Open that took place over the weekend. Final round. One of the contenders, I think he was 1 shot off the lead, Aaron Rai.
Oh, my God.
Winner on the PGA Tour. He is on, I believe, like the 8th green. He's got about 15-footer for par.
15-footer.
Fairly straight putt. And
now he's in it. He's in the tournament.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's a big
fourth place
they're
or
all
something.
big putts at this point. He has gone 59 straight holes without a bogey. So it's his turn to putt. he's there. Now he's just starting to like look over his putt, and then he stops. He stands over his putt. He leans his putter against his groin. He stops. He turns around. He goes to the other side of the putt to look at it from a different angle. He walks it back and forth. The point of this is that, and Rick Golfs points out, this is insane. It takes him 2 minutes to finally pull the trigger on a 15-foot par putt.
Guys,
2 minutes.
Do you know how long that is on a golf course? It's 2 minutes. If we sat here right now for 2 minutes in silence, you'd lose your mind. You, the listener, you driving to work, come on, please, I'm begging you.
It is. It's a bad example.
2 seconds.
It's a bad example for everyday golfers out there. You don't need 2 minutes. You don't need 20 seconds.
You really don't.
You need maybe 5 to 10 seconds. Look at the putt. Look at the line. It's going to go right to left. It's going to go left to right. Make your putt and move on.
Get your putt and move on, man.
I think karmically, I was almost glad he missed the putt.
Of course he did.
It was a bogey. I think he finished like a shot out of the playoff at the end or something at the end. So this putt didn't help him. Rick Golf says this is 100% on the PGA Tour. They could stop this tomorrow with a 1-stroke penalty. Like have a shot clock, enforce it. I think there should be a penalty, the death penalty. If anyone, anyone takes 2 minutes to hit a 15-foot putt, they should never be allowed to play golf again.
Yeah, you get banned from the sport. Yeah, you're a fast putter.
Ridiculous.
I'm a fast putter. Paulie's fast putter. I can't play with slow putters or slow players. It's excruciating, man.
Do you have a do this?
I mean, I was on a Howard Stern show yesterday. That's
cool.
pretty good. In case you missed it.
Basketball Ben's going to make a quick appearance here for do this.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
We don't talk a lot of Detroit Pistons basketball, but
don't talk any.
I want to credit them. I didn't even realize this. I'm Basketball Ben. Do you know what they've done? Turned it around. Remember last year when they lost?
Horrible.
They were so horrible. They went 14-68. How many games in a row they lose at one point?
Oh, they were going for the record.
30 something in a row. Detroit right now, they just won their 7th game in a row. They beat the Clippers last night. They're now 32-26 and cruising toward the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. I mean, this is one of the great sports turnarounds we've seen from one season to another. They're healthier. They've made some steps forward, obviously, but you don't hear a lot of Detroit Pistons talk around. And I wasn't even noticing how good that they have been under new coach J.B. Bickerstaff. Cade Cunningham, who was the number 1 pick in the 2021 draft, has been playing out of his mind this year. He's averaging almost 26 points per game. And they have just been a very solid team. I mean, are they going to win the title? No, but I always like when a team can go from the absolute bottom of the barrel and show that it's possible. You don't need a 6-year rebuild sometimes.
Yeah,
you can come back and, let's reorganize, let's regroup. Let's come back and have a good season next year.
Yeah,
guys.
I like that too.
And they're absolutely doing that. And I think that's a do this. So that's a don't and do this for a Tuesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. We have, I don't know, did you want to put together a couple of Reindl Report headlines we can get to in our next segment? We can certainly do that.
I like an early Reindl Report.
Yeah,
mix it up.
Switch it up a little bit.
Since we are going to take an early exit today for our trip to Peoria at 9 o'clock, we'll do a best of hour from 9 to 10 o'clock. Don't forget, we're going to do our biggest fan a little bit early, about 8:45 this morning. Just to give you some warning so we can have time to have that 10-minute call-in window before we wrap things up and hit the road for Arizona. Hopefully it'll be a smooth drive. Stop in Yuma, Mr. G's, for a little Mexican food for lunch, and then get there in time to get all of our credentials and our accommodations squared away for shows on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from the back patio of the Peoria Sports Complex.
Can't wait, my friends. Cannot wait. Wanted to tell you guys, I'm always happy to tell you guys about QC Kinetics. And in fact, when they reached out to me last week and said, Woodsy, we know you're busy. Is there any way you could come and shoot like a 15-second, they call it a donut spot for our commercial that we're going to be running on TV? I did not even hesitate. I said, whatever you guys need, I am so happy to provide it for you because they saved me, man. They changed my life completely. The pain that I had in my wrists 2 years ago was unbearable. And, these dudes know I complained about it every single day for like a year. Went into QC Kinetics, got the treatments, and I'm back doing all the things I love to do. My wrists are stronger than they've ever been. So if you want to avoid surgery and all the pain, long recovery and uncertainty that comes with joint pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, or other joints, if you're having trouble sleeping, walking, day-to-day movement, just call QC Kinetics today. Think about the things that your pain is holding you back from doing. It was It was killing me. I mean, I really was in a deep, dark depression about it because I couldn't do anything. So if you answered yes to any of those questions, guys, you're probably a great candidate. Call QC Kinetics today, 619-614-PAIN, 619-614-PAIN. Again, call QC Kinetics in Torrey Hills and Hillcrest for your free consultation, 619-614-PAIN.
This segment of Ben and Woods is brought to you by Robert Half. 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is there to help. They're recruiting professionals utilizing award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Make your company whole with Robert Half.
See, that's brilliant advertising.
Thank you.
Executive over here. I just had a moment that made me feel very old. Those happen more often than they used to.
Did you have an accident?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, all right. Well,
no.
It happens.
I saw this post from Fox Sports PR. Fox Sports celebrates 30 years of MLB on Fox coverage as it unveils an action-packed 2025 regular season broadcast schedule. I remember when Fox their first season of baseball, and they had the graphics, and I go, I can't watch baseball on Fox. Fox is for football and other sports. You can't watch baseball on Fox. They won't know how to do it.
Right.
They're going to make a mess
of
America's pastime.
They're going to make a mockery of America's pastime.
Of the sport.
That's
on
right.
Fox? Are you kidding me? Fox is for teenagers, not for baseball fans. That was 30 years ago. I was 19 and I thought that.
Do you want to hear? I had a moment yesterday too where I know that I'm old now, and I talked to somebody in the game yesterday, and very much in the know. And this person told me that there are at least 2 teams that he knows of that have gone into their facilities, Ben, Paul, listeners, and taken out batting tees. They have gone in to the cages, to the hitting area, to the hitting lab.
Outdated practice.
They've taken batting tees.
Cost-saving maneuver.
No. Not a cost-saving maneuver, but we're smarter than the game is now maneuver, in my opinion.
All right, well, here would be my argument. You never hit a ball that's stationary in baseball, so why would you practice hitting a stationary baseball? I can make that argument.
You can't.
I just did.
You can't. You didn't.
You're going to practice. You should practice against moving balls.
Tell that to Tony Gwynn.
Soft toss should also be banned from practice.
So nothing's soft. It absolutely
should only face 95 to 100 mile an hour heat anytime you get into the box.
When I heard this yesterday, I was Boomer Woods I was fit to be tied. The tee is such an integral part of teaching people how to hit. Luis Ariz, take his tee away. See how that goes.
When I practice golf, I never have someone throwing the ball at me.
Why would you?
To then hit it? Because, I only hit the ball when it's stationary on the ground. So that's how I practice it. In baseball, you never hit the ball when it's stationary. So why would you practice hitting it stationary? That would be like me having someone tossing the golf ball to me on the driving range and then me trying to hit it.
Do you ever take a dry swing?
Yes.
Why? Because you always hit a ball.
Just to loosen up a little bit.
But you always hit a ball. Don't ever take a dry swing. Do you ever do a practice putt? I mean, guys, what are we doing here? And the organizations that he mentioned, I won't name any names, but they're 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. I'll say that. One is very accomplished. One is not very accomplished at all. And they have yanked
Dodgers and the Pirates.
They have yanked.
No, I don't know who it is.
They have yanked their tees from the facility, and they don't want their guys and they don't want their guys hitting off tees anymore at all. And it is
strange.
Isn't it maddening a little bit to think about? And I think about all the great ones and the tee work that they put in. I mean, look, it's not the end all be all. Like you can't. I'm good. I just hit off the tee all off season. I don't need any velo. I don't need this. No, of course not. But man, being able to put a tee on the outside corner, Ben, and hit, you have to be able to hit 10 balls. Like that's where 10 balls. That's off the plate. Then you move it to the middle and you kind of play it off of your dingus. And then you work on getting the barrel to that. Then you move it. All these are all Tony Gwynn drills like that my buddy taught me. And it helps you. It helps you with your bat path, your control. It's knob to baseball. Yes, the ball is no pitcher's ever going to throw one up there. It's going to be sitting on a tee. But the visualization of, there's the ball in that location. You can raise a tee up. You can put a tee down. You can move it in. You can move it out.
I will say that
it is insane
at
to me.
The moment of impact, physics. The ball is actually just in one
It's in one spot.
in space-time when you are making contact with it. So while it wasn't there a millisecond ago and it won't be there a millisecond later, when you're actually making contact with the ball, essentially you're hitting it off the tee.
It's crazy to me. And I boomered out, man. I really did. I boomered out hard. I'm like, oh, here we go, trying to outsmart the game that we've been playing for 100+ years by taking a tee away. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I felt a little bit old yesterday. I hope the tee doesn't go to the way of the dinosaur.
You should reveal which teams are the ones that are taking away that practice implement after a commercial break. You know what that would be?
That would be a tease.
Tease.
Yeah.
All right. Paulie's going to give us some headlines with the Reindl Report. Did I do my eyebrow?
Tease. I didn't even catch it.
I saw where he was going.
Tease. Paulie's got some headlines with the Reindl Report. We'll get to that a little early today after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Eliminite Termite, the orange oil experts. Problems along the 78 westbound side, an accident clearing near the 5, but eastbound 78 at the southbound 15 connector, crash involving a couple vehicles there in the center divide. We also have this collision involving a car and a motorcycle. West 8 at the northbound 15 connector ramp does not appear to be blocking lanes. Tow truck is on scene assisting with that. Have termites? Eliminite Termite inspects, treats, and repairs termite damage, all with a full structural warranty. Their orange oil treatment is safe for people, pets, and the planet. No tent, no move out. Protect your home naturally. Schedule a free inspection at eliminitetermite.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah?
All right.
All right.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Travel day today.
Travel day.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get started here. Different spot for the Reindl Report. Different stories, kind of trying to figure out what we haven't talked about, but it's only been an hour and a half. I did want to talk a little football. I saw you guys were mentioning this earlier before the show. So there is an unidentified team officially, although people have their guesses and their speculation, but an unidentified NFL team is proposing to ban the tush push, which really was dominated by Philly, Jalen Hurts. They've been doing it for years, but a lot of teams, 4th and 1, you know what's happening. The Bills do it all the time.
Yep.
You see it a bunch. Banning the tush push. Does this sound fair to you? Does this sound like maybe banning the shift or some of the other things we've seen happen in other sports? Or is this part of the game? It's a play that can definitely be ran. It's legal. There's nothing wrong with it. Why should they or should not they ban it?
As I tweeted last night, it's already been banned in my house. Tush push is not allowed. All right. That's off limits. But in the NFL, I have no problem with it. None. If you can't stop it, then you should also learn how to do it. You see, there's a lot of imitators that try to do it, and they're not as successful. It's clearly a legal play. It doesn't bother me in the slightest.
Now, it wasn't always legal. There used to be a rule that you couldn't aid the ball carrier.
The bush push.
The bush push. You couldn't carry a guy across the line.
Put a hole in my wall because of the bush push. But that was college. I don't know if the pro was the same, but you couldn't have the running back run up and push the. But I feel like, Ben, we've always seen
it's more of a rugby play.
It's kind of a rugby play. Sure.
Rugby and football kind of have similar origins.
Manny says it's not a football play. Right below that, Vinny says it's part of the game. What is it?
I think first of all, it's a lot to do about very little. If you look at the numbers, and these are from ESPN. So the Eagles and the Bills are the 2 most effective teams when running this play. They 87% effective on 4th and 1 or 4th and goal or whatever it is when they're right within 1 yard to get that first down or get the touchdown. The rest of the league, when running a similar play, 71%. So we're talking about a marginal difference that can be explained by a couple of things, a better offensive line. And honestly, the fact that Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen are the quarterbacks of those two teams. Josh Allen's going to pick up most of those first downs however he does it, because he's a big, strong guy who's tough to bring down, especially in a short yardage situation like that. I don't think this should be the huge story that it is. If you are really concerned, if you're playing the Eagles and you're really concerned, part of your game plan has got to keep them out of the 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 situation.
That's really it. I mean, again, it's different than they banned the shift, Paulie, because it was eating up baseball play. Like, guy hits the ball 107 miles an hour and into what traditionally has been a hole. It kills the offense. I mean, it really does. This isn't. It was also
taking time for Manny Machado to run from right third field, base to right field and then back every other at bat, and killing him over the process.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, would this be like banning a bunt in baseball?
Something like that.
It's basically a gimme. You're basically automatically moving the runner over from first to second.
Decent comp. Yeah, decent.
I mean, I think there has to be rules.
Sign up for that today.
By the way, does an NFL team?
But right now, it's part of the game.
Decide to employ a 6-year-old and then just have, the offensive lineman just
throw him. Oh my God, that's genius.
Fling it into the air like a bow.
The bow throw. Yeah. You do the bow throw. Yeah. All right, kid, here we go.
Grab him by his heels and spin him around.
Hang on to the ball.
Hang on to the ball. All you have to do is get it across the line.
The bow throw. That is fantastic.
Teaching to land softly, but we're just going to toss our players into the end zone.
That is brilliant. That's a brilliant idea. The bow throw. Hey, just get to the little kid. He's like, I'm tough. I can handle it. We need first downs. He runs in.
Yep.
His little helmet. Pick him up by the back of his pants and just sling him.
You got
14 yards.
Just get him by the bottom of the feet and just flip him like 8 feet into the air over the line. There's no one could ever stop that.
ESPN says the Eagles and the Bills, just those two teams alone, combined for 163 tush pushes over the past 3 seasons.
Crazy.
More than the rest of the NFL combined, the other 30 teams.
The only argument to get rid of it, I think,
scored a touchdown or a first down on 87%.
It's kind of boring.
It is boring.
It is.
It's not an exciting play. It's almost certainly going to work, and there's no chance of something really cool happening.
No.
I will say,
that guy flying over the line every play was pretty fun.
That was funny.
No, but they kept diving.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, what are you going to do? Yeah. And then they said they were going to give you an auto touchdown if you keep doing it.
The ref was ready to take his ball and go home.
It was so good.
He was very upset. I will say I have enjoyed the new trend of the last, season or two of pretty much going for it on any 4th down.
Yeah, I have too.
Like 4th and 6, they're going for it now. And that's not just a team. That's not one coach's
analytics,
philosophy.
Baby.
It's kind of just
analytics.
You've been seeing it, and it makes those 4th and 4s a lot more like you're no longer watching a game. It's 4th. It goes to 4th and 4, and you're like, time to get up and go to the bathroom.
And I'm glad the numbers eventually did prove that out, because when I was watching football long ago, I always thought
it's so much more
4th and 1. You're at the other team's 37-yard line. You're probably going to make it. You make it well over half the time. Why aren't you going for these? Why are you kicking long field goals? Why are you punting in these situations? You should be going for it. You should. And then finally they realized, the numbers do say we will score more points if we go for it more often on 4th down.
All right, we'll move on. Kind of a sportsy story. It involves an athlete from the extreme sports world. This is just a cool moment. Tony Hawk posted a really cool thing on his Instagram story yesterday. And of course, so Tony Hawk, his son, Riley, is married to Frances Cobain, Kurt Cobain's daughter. They have a child together who was born last year. And so Tony Hawk, San Diego's own, Ben, he posted a picture of an old Nirvana concert ticket, general admission, October 20th, 1991. And Tony Hawk wrote, went straight from the SUAS event at Houston Skate Park to this concert back in 1991. It was as transformative as live music can possibly be. We all experienced something rare and powerful that night. The world would never be the same. I wish Kurt were here so he could see the incredible woman his daughter has become. That's Tony's daughter-in-law. Meet her devoted, caring husband, and hold our wondrous grandchild.
Isn't that crazy? When Tony Hawk went to that concert, there's no chance that it ever entered his mind. One day, my son is going to marry that guy's daughter, and we're going to be grandparents together. And unfortunately, not together because Kurt's no longer with us. But that is pretty wild, man. Pretty wild. I bet that kid.
It's also nice how much he likes his daughter.
Oh, I know, dude. It's really sweet.
Just a wholesome, sweet,
very, very sweet post. And think about. You wonder, will that kid be talented at all? I knew Riley a little bit. His Riley Hawk dated my very first radio show's phone screener. So I got to meet him a couple times. Really nice kid. And man, happy for them. That's a cool post.
Tony Hawk is opening up a new restaurant up in Leucadia.
Oh, really?
It's called Chicken Hawk.
Is it?
It's not, yeah, they're still under construction, but it's right there off of Leucadia Boulevard at the 101.
Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. The sign's up now.
That's
Chicken
not
Hawk.
the Google the definition.
Chicken Hawk. It's
Yeah.
chick.
Oh, chicken
Hawk. Yeah. But there could be a
not-
play on words.
Google
there.
it. Google the definition real quick. You don't have to read it on the air because that's why it kind of surprised me that was the name. I thought you were making it up.
It's multiple meanings, including a type of hawk, an actual type of bird.
Chicken Hawk Tua. There's another one.
I'm not
though.
seeing any other
all right.
You're not on the right
political
dictionary.
term.
No.
But no, I'm seeing nothing else.
I'll tell you during the break. Anyways, and then we'll wrap it up with a little Hollywood goss.
Ooh, I like the goss.
Tea.
Little tea
from
leaves.
TMZ. TMZ has reported that one Sydney Sweeney may be a little trouble in paradise. So she was supposed to be getting married in May to her fiance. His name is Jonathan Davino. I know almost nothing about him other than I hate him.
Yeah.
They are postponing their wedding. Their
That always-
wedding is
that
now on
always works-
hiatus.
works well.
They said they reached out to people. TMZ reached out to people on both sides trying to figure out what was going on. It was confirmed that the wedding has been pushed back, and they're saying due to busy schedules. I think she's been engaged. They've been engaged for like
3 years. I
3
believe.
years, something close to that.
They got engaged in 2022.
2022. So
That's
coming up
on you,
5 years.
Jonathan. Jonathan, if this is not, in fact, your doing, then that's on you, buddy. You do not propose to Sydney Sweeney and then let it rot for 3 years. You run down to City Hall if you have to get it locked in, and then you can plan the big one later. That's on him.
Make it legal. Get it done.
I will propose that there is no more pathetic, involuntary reaction than the one that guys have.
Yes.
When a famous actress breaks up.
Oh, yeah.
With their significant other, as though
You
it
have
will
a shot.
any
Yeah.
possible impact on your life. Yet you still get that feeling in your stomach like, ooh, she's not with anyone
You
right
do
now.
get that,
it
like-
doesn't matter at all to you or your life. You'll never even meet her.
No.
Never once in your life. Yet you have that kind of, ooh,
Oh, all right.
she's on the market now.
Somebody's back on the scene.
It doesn't matter at all.
Aaron in the chat says, "Who are these people?" Aaron, if you don't know who Sydney Sweeney is, I don't know what to tell you.
Even I know who Sydney
Even
Sweeney
Ben
is.
knows.
She was in a Super Bowl. She was in the Meg Ryan,
Yes.
Billy Crystal
Yeah.
Super Bowl commercial this year.
Now, I was just on the Howard Stern show.
You
Does
were.
that have any pull
No.
potentially? What?
I don't know that would.
Watch Pete Davidson get her. Watch him go get her.
He's lurking.
He's lurking.
Jonathan.
Creeping. Man, this poor guy. You hope.
Pete's cleaned himself up.
Yeah,
Got a
did
bunch
he
of
get all
he got
his
like
tattoos
all his
taken off?
tattoos removed. He's getting them
Cannot.
all.
He got
removed.
all of them removed.
Why?
He is a
I don't know.
completely different person if you look at him now.
Yeah.
Everything.
Like
I think he's got a few left.
But emotionally, is he a different person?
I mean, maybe, but like,
Was he a bad person before?
I don't think he was a bad
I don't think he
person.
was.
I think everybody
he's a
likes
bad
him.
Never
person.
liked him.
He's got some skeletons and issues, like we all do, but he got him like sandblasted off his skin.
Yeah.
That sounds painful.
It sounds so painful. You went through all the pain to get him, and now you're getting to go through more pain to get him off. And then what if you're like, you know what? I kind of miss my tattoo.
Let's get him back again.
I'll take him off again. Oh my God. Well, yeah,
Really?
she's on the market
He
again.
got them removed.
Removed.
He had a lot of them.
He had a ton. He was sleeved up as it gets. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, you got them all of them, but like one
Google
or
it.
something.
Pete Davidson
Google it.
tattoos or something.
Yeah, it's pretty
I had
amazing.
no idea. This is fascinating.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Like he doesn't look weird.
No,
There's not like a bunch of scarring
No.
or anything. He looks normal.
God,
Completely
it
normal.
could not have been pain-free.
So
It
if you're a
just could not.
celebrity and you have enough money, they
You
can
can-
do it and make it look good.
Yeah.
And get rid of
I
the
feel like I
tattoos.
saw him talking about it recently.
Yeah,
in
somebody
the
said he
last
was on
couple weeks,
Fallon talking about it.
and he said it hurt.
Oh,
It
Did
hurt.
he say why he did it though?
I'm sure he did.
Fresh
I just
start,
don't
probably.
remember.
All right.
$200K worth of removals. All right, if you got the money to spend $200,000 to get them taken off, there you go.
The time and the pain tolerance all together.
Oh.
You need all three to get rid of an entire body's worth of tattoos.
I mean, they hurt when you get them, and then to get them off is just double pain. But well, good for him, man. If that makes him happy. But yeah, Sydney Sweeney, I wish you the very best that life has to offer. I know you will get it as you deserve it.
All right. Normally, you missed your chance to say we're halfway home about half an hour ago.
Yeah,
Since we are actually going until 9 o'clock, a little best of hours. We're on our way to spring training. We still have Sammy's spring training coming up, as well as Take on Woods, all in the final live hour of Ben and Woods on a Tuesday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We'll be right back.
All right, normally I'd give you guys the, hey, we're halfway home on a Tuesday. Ben and Woods 97.3, The Fan. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. But today is a little different. We have to get out to Peoria by a certain time to get our credentials. If not, the doors will be closed and we will not get them.
And we are arriving at 6 a.m. local time in the morning.
Correct.
When
And
nobody's there.
Nobody will be there.
There's going to be one security guard. And if we don't have credentials, we ain't getting in.
Not getting in, can't do the show. So we got to haul ass out there today. So we're going to give ourselves an extra hour. Hopefully, Paulie put together a really nice best of for you guys. He worked really hard on it yesterday. Some stuff that you may have missed over the last week or so.
That makes the first 3 hours our worst of Ben and Woods.
Yeah, pretty much. But so welcome in. Thanks for being here. Really excited to go out and provide some coverage for you guys this week and talk to your favorite Padres players. Well, I was excited to go out to Peoria. And then Adam walked in the studio, and he's here joining us live. Good morning, Adam. How are you?
Hey, guys.
You can't do you. You can't do your fake voice. So walked in, shooting the breeze. You guys got everything you need. Yes, we got it all. Got everything locked in. Grab the equipment. We'll split. And then as his parting shot, you know what he said. Just need to remind you guys, don't go crazy out there, which makes me absolutely bananas every single year that he says it. And we're all in agreement, right? He has said it every single year since we've been here.
As do most bosses.
But
before you go on a work trip.
That being said, it's not like, hey, we didn't get the don't go crazy, so let's go crazy and start ordering lobster thermidor, to the Airbnb, right? So I asked him again, all right, what does that mean? And you said, there's no definition. Adam, when I worked at a company, a big company at one time. It was called Merritt Hawkins, and we did physician and hospital recruiting. I was in the marketing side. So I would go on these trips, and I had a territory of Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Wyoming, Montana. And I knew, because it was set in stone, you have $25 for lunch, and you have $40 for dinner, and like $20 for breakfast. So all in, you're looking maybe $110 a day for your food. Now, I could forego breakfast. I could forego lunch and drop $110 on dinner. And I did that a lot. There is no set policy here at Odyssey.
Would you like there to be?
All we get is the don't go crazy, which is insulting because, number one, we're not going to go crazy. I don't go crazy. It's not like I can't.
When have we ever?
It's not like I can't afford food here in San Diego, and then when I get in Peoria, I'm like, let's go.
We're also not going to New York City or Paris or Rome.
Correct.
It's Peoria.
It's gonna be Chili's. It's gonna be Flingers. It's gonna be McAllister's.
I do think it's a double-edged sword for companies, though, because
it's really not.
If I was given a bud, like you can spend up to $100 a day on food,
then you're going to spend up to $100.
I would want to spend every single dollar of it. But if you say, hey, whatever you want, just be reasonable, I might spend half of that because, you know what? I don't feel the need to maximize it every single day.
It's a lot like our vacation time policy.
It is like our vacation time policy.
And I think that Odyssey does this, like, kind of, is nebulous the right word? They're very nebulous about these things. Instead of just saying, hey, bro, you get 3 weeks vacation. You've been here 8 years. You get an extra 5 days or an extra 2 days. You have a $50 a day meal policy. Just put it in stone so that I know, so that when I come back, I don't have to go through the rigmarole of, oh, I'm sorry, dinner got a little pricey. I got an extra order of fried rice or something.
How did you gain all the weight?
Right, exactly. So why is it so nebulous?
I don't know.
What is don't go crazy?
Ask Mr. Odyssey that question.
Fred Odyssey. I would like to have a word with you.
I think we're fairly reasonable. We're not. I mean, there's no way. There are nice restaurants in Arizona.
Sure.
We're not driving to Scottsdale for them, though. It's just too far away. So we're going to be very reasonable. The problem is Sam Levitt is so darn reasonable when he's out there. He makes us look bad.
My beloved.
Yeah.
So what is he spending average a day on food? You don't know. He doesn't submit weekly.
No.
$8
At the end of the day.
Come on,
Or
it's
end of his trip.
impossible. Nobody can eat for $8 a day.
He's like going to the grocery store and just loading up on,
Well,
very reasonable things.
So when he goes to the grocery store, does he write off his groceries?
What do you mean?
Not write off.
Well,
So it's
expense.
expense them.
Yeah, he should.
I get a gigantic expense report at the end of his 6 weeks there.
We'll find out.
So we'll find out.
I need more direction from you. Why do you come in and do
Box
this
of
every
Raisin
year?
Bran and-
To try and discourage you from doing anything that I'll
we've
regret.
never
and
done.
by the way,
That we've
you've never
never
done
done.
it. Maybe it's because I discourage you, and I always approve everything you submit. I've never not approved anything.
That's not true.
Maybe it's
It is
because
true.
we're also trustworthy people. As much as Woods can make you feel like he's not trustworthy. I will say that.
I brought my own.
let's
I
be
brought
Wood-
my own singles for this trip.
Delilah will be happy about
Okay?
that.
I have my
You won't
own.
be expensing that.
I will not
Look,
be expensive.
bro,
Watch this.
Let's be honest.
Here.
This all stems from making it rain in the studio. This all stems from Mike Schilt running up the bill last year with you guys ordering the extra dumplings, getting the
He
hot and
did it.
sour soup.
Bro,
I'm
Mike
joking.
Schilt. Yeah, Mike
I
Schilt
am
had
joking.
plain chicken with no sauce and no veggies and rice.
Yes.
So I just need to know what am I looking at?
He had exactly 0 lettuce wraps at PF Chang's.
Yeah, we ordered them.
I tried to get him to eat one. He wouldn't. These are really good.
You'll grab them.
You want to slip one in right now?
No, what's my allotment here?
Go ask Michael that question.
You know what? Just bang it. Just bang it. Just let Sammy do it. I'm tired of this. Just bang it.
Too big for us now. I've been on a certain show.
Just bang
you
it.
know.
Just bang it. The juice ain't worth the squeeze.
You know how many millions of people heard that 4-second clip from our show yesterday?
Millions.
Do you know
and
how many of those millions of people had no idea who you were because you weren't identified?
Exactly.
Also millions.
All of
Every
the
single
millions.
one of them.
What are we talking here? $25, $30, $40.
Whatever you want, Woodsy. It doesn't matter what I say, anyways. So whatever, you know.
It's crazy. Does it need to be said? Is my biggest issue.
I don't think it needs to be said.
Nor do I.
Okay, then look. You want me to take a pledge right here, right now?
Yes, you won't say it next
I'll
year.
never say it again on any trip you ever go on.
All right, good. I'm going
Pledge.
crazy this year. Then. Now this year I'm going
Unraised.
crazy. This year I'm going crazy. No, we'll keep it.
I know you will.
When does the clock start? That's the other thing I want to know.
Crossing state lines.
Yeah, when does the clock start?
Second we hit the freeway.
As soon as you step out of the office day, right? You're on a work trip.
Okay. Good to know.
How come we had to work today?
Yeah, good to know.
Because it's Tuesday.
All right.
You're doing a show.
So Brandon says he'll tell you when you go to Philly in July to not go crazy.
Well,
That one's on
I heard
us.
you guys talking about the whole should you work thing. Like, do you really want to do that to your audience? You want to leave them hanging today?
Kind of.
I don't believe you. I think you're all talk on that one.
Yeah, I probably am.
Nobody loves their listeners more than Stephen Woods.
That's true. Philly is on us. That has nothing to do with honesty.
It's not a work trip, not an assignment.
Correct. It's not an
I'm
assignment.
assigning you to go to Peoria.
Correct.
And deliver amazing Padres content.
Yep. And you shall get it as you do every year. It's just every year it chips away at my soul a little bit when I have to be told that I can't spend money on food.
You guys are getting a tent this year. Yeah.
I brought a tent from home.
Good.
Yeah. So no heat
Seems like
stroke.
a wise decision.
It's gonna be warm.
Yeah, it's gonna be toasty.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Albert says, do we really have to listen to your company policies? Actually, Albert, you don't, because we don't have any. So you don't have to listen to them. It's do something, but don't do that. But only if you're wrong, we'll tell you that you're wrong. Right?
Sounds about right.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Adam. Looking forward to knocking it out of the park for you again.
Bye, guys.
Thanks,
I'll
Adam.
probably starve to death out there.
You're the one you're not the one who should really be offended.
And
I'm the one who should
you
be offended.
are the one that should be offended.
Do not trust me. I'm the responsible one here.
Yeah, but you're also the one that would eat $100 meal.
That's a good point.
If given the chance.
I mean, if they told me, yeah, you can spend up to $100 a day.
You're spending $100.
I would not have breakfast or lunch.
Correct.
And I would go to a really fancy dinner and spend my entire $100. But if they told me just, be reasonable, then I'll probably just have, my normal, coffee at breakfast and a sandwich at lunch and a reasonable dinner. And I'll end up spending less. It's psychological now that companies will They're using psychology against us.
It sucks. And Jocelyn says Adam was seriously so annoyed. I'm annoyed. I think it's annoying every year to come in. Hey, reminder, you don't go crazy out there.
No roost, Chris.
Like, I mean, what are we talking about here? The amount of money this job costs me would stagger you. Listening right now, it would stagger you. It would bring you to your knees. The amount of money out of my pocket that this company costs me would stagger you, make your hair fall out.
All right, how about let's play a game?
And I can't go get a steak tonight at Outback
in a year.
$20,000.
I was gonna say over under $5,000.
20 easily, Paulie. It's not close. 20 grand a year out of my own pocket that goes back into this company. I promise you. You make your hair turn white. Trust me. I don't tell my wife a quarter of it because I get my absolute teeth kicked in. And I can't get a bloomin' onion tonight at Outback in Peoria because that would be too much.
I think a bloomin' onion's reasonable.
Makes me insane.
I think that's reasonable.
It makes me insane. So anyway, I mean, if Hannah would have let us take the van, he would have made us sleep in the van. I'm pretty convinced. You hear this stuff. It's just like, come on, bro. Come on, Peter Pan.
It's just still standing out there. Yeah, we're ripping you.
Yeah, roasting you. It's crazy.
Got Take on Woods coming up next. If you want a chance to qualify for our grand prize drawing, and I can't promise any Take on Woodses when we're on because we may have guests coming by.
Yeah.
So this may be your only chance this week, your last chance this week to qualify for the trip to Las Vegas. Call us now, 833-288-0973. Play our musical trivia game, UV Woodsy, coming up in our next segment. When we're on vacation, I like to think of those as opportunities to cheat a little bit,
But we're not on
the
vacation.
diet.
This is a work trip.
It is a work trip, but even when you get away from home, you eat out more. With the SDFatLoss.com program, they actually build in a little bit of cheating. They understand that no one is going to eat perfectly every single day of their life. When I lost my 40 pounds in 60 days, I had a weekend. We went on vacation with the family. I ate what I wanted. I still lost 40 pounds in 60 days. That's how effective the SDFatLoss.com program really is. No injections or drugs, no exercise necessary. Just follow their strategies, their proprietary strategies, eating real foods like steak and chicken and vegetables, and lose up to a pound of fat per day and 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days. It works for people who are busy, who are on the go. It works for just about everybody. If you want to find out if it could work for you, set up your free consultation by going to SDFatLoss.com. If you sign up for the program now, still here in the month of February, get $200 off their program. Follow my path. Follow the path of so many tier ones who have lost hundreds and thousands of pounds with the program at SDFatLoss.com. That's SDFatLoss.com. Well, before we get to Take on Woods, a little breaking news from the Peoria Sports Complex via MLB insider Sam Levitt, who reports the Padres have signed left-handed pitcher Wes Benjamin to a minor league deal. Spent the last 3 seasons.
Fudge. Is Wes
in the
Benjamin.
KBO.
I believe he is the guitar player for Limp Bizkit. Oh, no, that's Wes Borland.
Wes Benjamin was previously in the Rangers organization.
Wait, where?
The Rangers organization.
The
Texas Rangers. Appearing in MLB during 2020 and 2021. KBO numbers, kind of like Kyle Hart, were very good last year. He had a, 2.70 ERA in 2022 for the Texas Rangers. And then, I don't see his numbers from last year, but 156 strikeouts over 149 and 2/3 innings. And then he was non-tendered, becoming a free agent. So coming back, seems like
depth move.
Yeah, more left-handed depth in the organization, possibly. Wes Benjamin
had never heard of him.
Went to the University of Kansas. He's an Illinois native. I'm clearly reading his Wikipedia page now because that's the only information I can get on Wes Benjamin.
Okay.
Sammy will have more, obviously, on Wes Benjamin and whatever else is going on from Peoria when he joins us coming up in our next segment at the bottom of the hour. Don't forget, we got an early Biggest Fan coming up at 8:45 this morning. But right now, let's get to today's game of Take on Woods. All right, we got Mike standing by as our contestant this morning. Hello, Mike. How are you? This is the point where Mike usually says something. Are you there, Mike?
Might be muted. I was talking to you during the break, Mike.
I'm willing to be patient.
Let's just go to Peoria now.
All right, Mike is not there, so let's throw the phone lines back open again. 833-288-0973 if you'd like to replace Mike as our contestant for Take on Woods. Hey, at least you know that this show is
for the
live.
delay, and then everybody hears it. Now they heard it. Now they're about to pull out their phones and call in.
Clearly, this is live radio. This is not pre-scripted. This is not pre-canned on tape. This is live radio. If you like radio that's polished and on tape, we have the whole best of hour coming up for you from 9 to 10 as we can listen to it on our drive to Arizona. Like listen to our own show. That would be interesting. All right, we got a regular calling in to replace Mike. There's Guy. Hi, Guy. How are you?
Sorry to be such a pest, but I mean, hey.
No, this is your opportunity. This is a perfect opportunity for you.
Thank you for calling in.
All right, let's give you the categories today for Take on Woods. We've got lacking in size, 5 song titles that include a word that means the opposite of big. We got Don't Call Me Jonathan, 5 song titles that include nicknames for someone named Jonathan. And we have V for Victory, 5 song titles that begin with the letter V. So lacking in size, Don't Call Me Jonathan, or V for Victory. Guy, what would you like to play?
Let's try lacking in size.
Lacking in size. All right, you can kind of figure this out. 5 song titles all include a word that means the opposite of big. A lot of little different synonyms there. You get the idea. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many of the 5 as you can. If you don't know one, say pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. First question, 2-second song. Paulie's going to play the clip. You need to give me the song title and the artist. Guy goes first, then it's Woods' turn. If you beat or tie Woods, we'll put you into our grand prize drawing for our 2-night stay in Las Vegas at the Park MGM and tickets to Motley Crue's new Las Vegas residency at Dolby Live, March 28th to April 19th. Get your Motley Crue tickets today at Ticketmaster.com. All right, Guy, are you ready to play?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's put 60 seconds on the clock. The category is lacking in size. Guy, your time begins when Paul plays our music. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
Every little thing she does is magic. The Police.
Correct. Which 1972 Elton John classic is about a blue jean baby, L.A. lady, seamstress for the band?
Tiny Dancer.
Correct. Seymour, Indiana, population about 20,000, was the birthplace of John Mellencamp and partly the inspiration for which 1985 hit.
Little Pink Houses.
Incorrect. Which 2001 debut single by Cake juxtaposes two different pieces of clothing?
Small Jacket.
Not quite. In 1960, Brian Hyland hit it big with a novelty song about a shy girl in her bathing suit with what 8-word title?
You're going to make me say this?
Yep.
Bitsy, teeny, weeny, yellow polka dot bikini.
All right, you got 3 out of the 5. Guy,
right,
good
all
job.
right, well done.
Yeah, we got, let's see, Little. Every little thing she does is magic. Tiny Dancer. Small Town is Seymour, Indiana, and Mellencamp, although Pink Little, I think it's just Pink Houses, isn't it? Little Pink Houses, but no. Small Town. Short Skirt, Long Jacket is the Cake song, and then you got the bikini one as well. So 3 is the score to beat. All right, we had a little glitch. Mike never showed up, so we had to get a replacement, and we got regular Guy playing against you.
Great.
His score is locked in.
Probably pretty good.
Might be a tricky category to figure out for you.
Is
Let's
he
see.
giving it to me or no? He's
No.
not. Okay.
60 seconds on the clock, Woods. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Guy.
That's Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic by The Police.
Correct. Which 1972 Elton John classic is about a blue jean baby, LA lady, seamstress for the band?
That is Tiny Dancer.
Correct. Seymour, Indiana, population about 20,000, was the birthplace of John Mellencamp and partly the inspiration for which 1985 hit?
Small Town.
Correct. Which 2001 debut single by Cake juxtaposes two different pieces of clothing?
Short Skirt and Long Jacket.
Correct. In 1960, Brian Hyland hit it big with a novelty song about a shy girl in her bathing suit with what 8-word title?
Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini.
Very good. 5 out of 5 and a 5-3 win for Woods today. And take on Woods. Guy, though, I appreciate you calling in.
Somebody called me washed in the chat earlier.
I don't feel
washed.
Any idea what the category was?
No idea. 0.
Lacking in size. We had every little thing she does.
Oh,
Tiny
lacking
Dancer,
in
Small
size.
Town, Short Skirt, Long Jacket, and Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini.
You are such a deviant.
I'm not. It's a
You are
1960 song.
You're just
That song is 65 years old.
What's the name of the category again?
Lacking in size.
You're a deviant. You always have been.
I didn't want to include any of the words in the title of the category.
And you always will be.
You had to figure it out yourself, which you did.
I did.
All right, we'll come back. Sammy Spring Training will
Yeah.
join us with an updated Pure. We have a lineup out for the Padres Angels game today. That is all coming up next here on The Fan.
All right, my friends, if you're a homeowner, got to listen up. Don't go through another year with all the high interest debt you've accrued. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle the 2025 home improvement project you've been putting off. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. With their AI-driven technology, you can get approved and funded in as little as a day. Low fixed rates, lightning fast transfers. You can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 619-207-4336, or visit loanpronto.com. Get your free rate quote now with no hard credit pull, 619-207-4336, or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Got a lineup out for the Padres Angels spring training game number 5 for your San Diego Padres, coming up at 12:10 today. I believe there's another streaming webcast with Jesse Agler and Tony Gwynn Jr. As we bring on Sam Levitt from the Peoria Sports Complex, spring training Sammy joining us for his daily coverage. Looking at this lineup, Sammy, it looks like a bunch of regulars again, including Luis Arraez leading off at first base. Tyler Wade's going to play shortstop, bat second. Manny Machado playing again. He's DHing, hitting third. Jason Hayward cleaning up in left field. Eguy Rosario back in the lineup again. He's at second base today, batting fifth. Brandon Lockridge in center field, hitting sixth. Martin Maldonado catching, hitting seventh. Tirso Ornelas gets another start in right field, batting eighth. And Mason McCoy at third base, batting ninth, with Stephen Kolek on the mound. Let's see. Still no Campy, Sammy. He has been out with the flu along with Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, Campy was back in the clubhouse this morning, obviously not in the lineup. We'll see if we get an update from Mike Schultz on his status and kind of where he's at in his progression and working his way back. With Fernando, haven't seen him around a ton over the last handful of days. I personally didn't see him in the clubhouse this morning. Sounded yesterday like, that they're still going to give him some time to build his strength back up. I think the reality is it's obviously unfortunate that he's been under the weather and hasn't been able to play, but they got plenty of time to get him ready for opening day. So I suppose no real reason to rush, but doesn't look like he's going to play. I would assume in the next day or two at least, because they do think they want to get him back active before they get him in a game.
No doubt, plenty of at-bats still to be had out there. Plenty of work able to be done for Fernando Tatis Jr. Looks to be in really great shape, the flu notwithstanding. That being said, I think everybody, Sammy, yesterday, really impressed with Eguy Rosario, hitting the ball hard, hitting the ball off of right-handers, which was kind of the knock on Eguy. And, it is spring training. Hopefully he has figured out something with his swing or his, ability to do that now. Could be a really nice piece for the Padres moving forward. He's got kind of all the pieces that you're looking for.
No, I think he's been very impressive in two ways. Number one, he's hitting right-handers. I mean, the ball he hit yesterday to right center was no joke. 107 off the bat, a line drive home run against a talented righty, young guy by the name of Ben Brown on the Cubs. That was impressive. And then in left field, he was given 3 routine fly balls out there, and he made them look fairly easy. So I think Eguy has been really impressive. He's had other hits against right-handers so far in the Cactus League. And it was interesting hearing him talk after the game, or I should say after he came out of the game yesterday. Clearly he went down to the Dominican Winter League and worked on stuff and has come back with the mindset of trying to hit righties a little bit better. Mike Schultz alluded to it after the game as well, the work he did in the Dominican. And if Eguy can play left field and play it serviceably, I think he's going to have a real shot to make this team, because we know he rips up lefties. He's always been a talented offensive player. It's been a very, very good start this spring for Eguy Rosario, no doubt about it.
Sammy, we just read your tweet about the Padres signing a left-handed pitcher, Wes Benjamin, to a minor league deal. Any insight that you got on that deal, or just a release and more depth at camp?
Yeah, I spoke to him inside the clubhouse a few minutes ago. Seems like more depth. Left-handed starter, pitched the last 3 seasons in the KBO, was with the Texas Rangers organization for a number of years before that. Did have some brief experience in the major leagues in 2020. In 2021, if you look at his numbers in the KBO, they're not quite Kyle Hart-esque numbers in the KBO, but still the first couple of years in particular, very good. He alluded to some of the different things he's worked on as far as his off-speed stuff and whatnot. And he was really looking for an opportunity rather than go to an organization where he might be looked at as more of a reliever. He was looking for an opportunity where he could at the least provide starter depth. So it certainly sounded, based on what he said and what he was looking for, like he will be part of the starting mix here. I would assume that's either he's here or somewhere at AAA. We'll see. But yes, seems like I'm not saying Wes Benjamin isn't going to compete for the 5th spot. Maybe he will. We'll hear from Mike Schultz about it in a little bit, get more of a sense of what they believe Benjamin is going to provide them. But interesting left-handed arm, sort of a low-risk minor league deal. And, he spent a while in the KBO instead of, continuing what was a major league track of going up and down between the minors and the majors a lot, and built up his innings in the KBO. So he's excited for the opportunity, and we'll see what Wes Benjamin is and what kind of role he can play throughout this season.
Talking to spring training Sammy here on Bed of Woods this morning before we head out to Peoria here in a little bit. AJ Preller, I'm assuming, is around. Have you seen him working the phones at all? And this is going to be, until opening day gets here, Sammy, the chain reaction of the media will go as follows. Starting pitcher gets hurt. And, of course, I'm talking about Sean Manaea. Has got an oblique thing. He's going to start the season on the IL. Everybody in New York assumes, oh, great, just call the Padres. They'll trade you Dylan Cease. And you know, I don't want to sit here and say there's no way that happens. I mean, I think, you know, as we always hear, AJ's always listening on everybody. I got to imagine his phone probably has been ringing. There have been some guys that have gone down early and some teams that were expected to compete. Have you had a chance to talk to him?
I haven't talked to him specifically about that part of things, you know, as far as offers coming in for his guys. I agree with you, Woodsy, that that it's an interesting part of this. I mean, the Mets are certainly a great candidate. They've now lost Montas and they've lost Manaea for extended periods of time. Look, I can just give you the vibe I get here generally. Doesn't seem like anybody's worried they're on the way out. I certainly hope they're not. You know, I said it at the time. I think, you know, it would seem a little odd to me to sign Pivetta and then put yourself above the luxury tax. And then, you know, be trading guys away. Just, it seems a little out of order to me. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but I've not talked to AJ specifically about that. And I'm sure if I was asking him specifically about,
I'm sure he'd tell you in great detail what the offer was.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, but I certainly don't get the vibe here that anybody is looking over their shoulder and wondering when they're going to go. We'll see. You know, look, anything is possible. We certainly know AJ is very active this time of year during spring training. He has been in the past and certainly has surprised us. But at this moment, I don't get any indication that anything is imminent.
You know, one guy I haven't seen or really heard much about for about a week is Robert Suarez. Have I missed him doing anything? Is he hurt? Is he ill?
They traded him like 2 weeks ago.
No.
Just didn't tell anybody.
You freaked me out because I'm looking at you going, maybe that did happen.
No, he pitched in a sim game. Was it yesterday? Who threw yesterday? It was Darvish and Suarez. He pitched yesterday in a sim game on the backfield. Same sim game that Darvish and Estrada pitched in yesterday. I think I'm getting that right of who pitched yesterday. It was, no. It was Darvish, Estrada, and Suarez yesterday who pitched on the backfield. So he's fine. He's around. He's fine. Pitched in a sim game. They've held a lot of the guys back so far from the Cactus League games, which isn't, you know, all that surprising. We'll see when guys get in. It's been a mix of the relievers. Some have been in the Cactus League games. Some have been on the backfield. But he pitched, I think it was yesterday, if my memory serves correctly, on the backfields here in a sim game. So he's fine.
All the days are starting to run together already, Sammy.
Yeah.
The good news is you only have like 4 more weeks
one
left.
month left.
Yeah, piece of cake.
Sammy, before you go, I've got one last question since we're on our way there. And you weren't at FanFest, but I think Woods and I and Paul were all pleasantly surprised at the turnout and enthusiasm after what was kind of a quiet offseason for the Padres. How have the fans been at spring training compared to your last, couple of years there?
Really good. I mean, the weekend it was packed here, and the games were really well attended. I don't know if they technically announced sellouts at the stadium, but it seemed pretty close. And certainly the berm was all filled up. I don't know what a sellout is at the Peoria Sports Complex. I wasn't really paying attention to the attendance number, but here on the backfields over the weekend, very, very well attended. A lot of people excited. During the week, especially this early in spring training, it's a little bit less so, just because I assume people are working. But yeah, it's been totally fine. I mean, look, I remember being here my first spring training before 23, and that was certainly just from a number of people here. That was a crescendo for sure. Look, they had World Series expectations. Something's happening in my left ear. What is going on this machine? Hold on a second.
You sound fine.
You sound
from
good.
our
Okay.
end.
From our end.
Completely.
I'm sorry.
unrelated.
The unit battery is getting low. I could not bear that without pressing the unit. The crescendo, I would say, was 23, right? Because the World Series expectations, kind of a World Series or bust, all the hype around that team. But very, very well attended here for sure. A lot of people excited. Big crowds over the weekend, and I'm sure once we get back towards later in the week, it'll get that way again. I haven't noticed a difference as far as comparing it to last year or anything like that. Plenty of people here, plenty of excitement for sure.
Well, we will see you tomorrow morning, Sammy. Just passing along a message I got from our boss. Don't go crazy, okay, on food, okay? I want to make sure he was the middleman, and now I'll be the third man and pass that along. Don't go crazy, okay?
I will say I got a pretty expensive salad from across the street.
Good luck.
I spent like it could have been like $18 on a salad, which seemed like a lot to me.
Enjoy not eating for 24 hours. Enjoy your fast.
You're going to see they have 3 new, very nice restaurants across the parking
lot. Oh yeah, we've seen it. We've seen
you guys were here, right? You
guys
were here. Yes. Yeah. Game changer.
Really?
I Uber Eats from one of them.
No, you're dead.
Went, picked up the salad, went right into the ballpark.
Service fee? Yeah. You're not getting that.
No
back.
service fee. Well,
it was nice working with you.
They picked it up themselves. They didn't deliver it, so it's all right. All right, Sammy. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
Spring training, Sammy. We'll get to enjoy his presence in person over the next 3 days.
Love Sammy.
Before we go to traffic, let's give out today's biggest fan a little early. Before our best of hour coming up at 9 o'clock. Today's biggest fan will have 10 minutes to call us at 833-288-0973 to qualify for our grand prize, 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey Suite at an upcoming Padres game. Today's biggest fan is Paul Rimondo from San Diego. Paul Rimondo, you have 10 minutes to call us at 833-288-0973. You can still get your name in to our grand prize drawing by going to 973thefan, sd.com/biggest-fan, and signing up for our big contest.
Are we racing today?
Well, I mean, I would like to get to Yuma before you guys are done with lunch. That would be my goal. So I have to stay within, 10, 15 minutes behind you.
That's fair.
But that's my plan.
We're finishing up, pushing our plates away as he walks into Mr.
This
G's.
is an important traffic report for us here.
Yeah, it is.
Crossing our fingers, 8 East is clear with Kelly Danick here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by ExtremeRoofs.com. Westbound 8 cleared an accident near the 805, but now West 8 at the northbound 5 connector. Got a crash blocking the left lane. Also, northbound 805 past the 52, crash blocked into 2 left lanes. South Life Coastline past the Aliso Creek Rest area, collision blocking that right lane. And looking much better on southbound 15, crash cleared up near Poway Road. But on northbound 15 past El Norte, stalled pickup truck. That has been moved out of middle lanes into the center divide. The rain season has arrived, and if your roof is leaking or you're finding asphalt shingles in the backyard or the side of your house, call family-owned Extreme Roofing, serving San Diego for over 25 years. 619-334-ROOF. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, sounded like it was clear. We've got Kelly's personal guarantee, smooth sailing all the way from here to Peoria.
Sure hope so, my friend. Sure hope so.
I do as well.
The biggest fan on the line.
Yeah, Paulie's got him.
I like that.
We've had a high rate of success.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
As am I.
Tier 1s are ready to go. Even with a little early call-in today, we got our tier 1 to call us in. And congratulations, Paul Raimondo is our next qualifier for our grand prize drawing. All right, people are curious. What do we consider to be the best of Ben and Woods? I wanted to keep it somewhat topical and recent. So Paulie's put together a pretty good hour for you coming up, including, if you missed it, some of our conversation with San Diego radio great Darren Smith, who was in studio last Friday.
Yep.
Also, our interview with Don Orsillo after they announced his new contract extension with the San Diego Padres. Plus, Paulie's put some fun stuff in there, like our bad Yelp reviews for our personal show and radio station. And what's this, Ben's breathing montage? Thanks for that, Paul.
Hey.
I appreciate that.
Good content. Good content is good content.
That was great. I'm excited to hear that again in the car.
We can listen to it.
Yeah, we can.
We don't get to listen to our own show very often.
Why are you driving alone again? We're not driving together?
I have my TV equipment in my car. You have radio equipment in your car. And we just have a lot of stuff to broadcast.
That's true.
The next couple of days.
That's true. What's your schedule going to be like when we're out there?
So the good news is that I still have Steve Smith back in the studio, so I don't have to go live like at the late show at the 11.
Oh, that's good.
All I have to do is put together stories and feed them back, so I can kind of work on my own clock
from the
as it
house.
were. I can work from the house. I'll have to go and shoot some, at least look lives, we call them, like stand in front of the complex and shoot some video, but then I can go back and put it all together. And I'll probably be using a lot of our interviews over the first couple of days, because we get pretty good guests who are fairly freewheeling when they come on with us. It's better than the normal, Schilt Daily Presser that you can get. So I'll transfer that and turn it into stories on 10 News to add a little video and polish it up for you. Yeah, exactly.
Send it back to Steve and he airs it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, it's not too bad actually for me the next
Probably
couple of days.
could have played some golf this trip.
I don't know about that.
All right.
Definitely won't have to stay up until like midnight to do lives,
unless the Aztecs are playing, which they are.
Well,
tonight.
I'll watch the game, but I don't have to wait. I don't have to then cut the highlights at 11:30 p.m. and get ready to go live at 12:20 in the morning in Arizona when it's 11:20 at night here. So that's not bad for me.
Excited, man. Excited to get out there. Always fun. Always have a good trip.
Absolutely.
Favorite week of the year.
Yeah,
so much fun.
It's really fun.
Oh no.
Just
got a text. Mark Grant says it's bumper to bumper, backed up just before Alpine, because he has a lemonade stand set up at Alpine.
Tell Mark Grant.
3.5 hour delay.
You know what, buddy?
As soon as you said Mark Grant, I knew some satire was coming.
Can't take that man too serious.
Good news is lunch at Mud's house on the way out to Arizona here in about an hour.
Give his address and his phone number out over the air.
Any other listeners want to join us?
Well,
Mud's
he's within
backyard.
walking distance of Cafe Odessa because he can stroll down there and get his coffee.
That's right.
Absolutely. Thank you for your traffic report, Mud. You're no Kelly Danik.
That's true. Thank God. Thank God. When are we out of here? 4:54?
That's why we're replaying a Don Orsillo interview.
That's right. And not a Mark Grant interview. We'll probably get where's Mud? He's here. He's not out there yet.
I don't know if he's there yet. When is their
I don't know when their
first
TV
broadcast is. That's a good question. Well, Mud can text us if he's listening and keep us up to date. I know we've got the
he's just sitting in his car laughing.
We've got the webcast with Jesse and Tony. They're already out working hard every single day.
They've been grinding every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Jesse's been there for a couple of weeks already. Very busy man.
I was dying on Friday during the first broadcast with Jesse and Tony. They were talking about how nice it was to be in the TV booth.
Yes.
And they had the bed sheet behind them, the Padres bed sheet.
Yeah.
And I think Jesse
Mud
goes,
Grant's.
Little do you know, this is actually Mark Grant's real bed sheet. His other one, his backup one, has race cars on it.
Yeah, I believe it. I fully believe it. Sweet babies.
God, I missed all those guys.
Can't wait. Try to get a little dinner or something with Jesse Agler. Go out and shoot the breeze. It's my treat, guys. It's my treat. I got it.
I will say I don't know that I'll have time for that.
We have time.
I'm not sure.
Chances you end up at a casino this week.
Very little. Again,
I don't
if
buy
I
it.
had time, I'd play plenty of golf and hit the casino, but I don't think that's going to be in the cards. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Over the next couple of days.
All right. Safe travels, boys.
Now, one thing that we can't tell you yet is exactly who we will have on the program.
You'll know
tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, but we're hoping to at least run through
the big dogs,
a majority of the big dogs.
Yeah.
This is our one chance. It's tough to get them on in the mornings, get them to call in during the season. It's fairly rare, but this is our chance. We're like sitting right there as they walk in. It's pretty easy for them to plop down for 5-6 minutes and give us that conversation. So this is the time where we do expect to have some of our bigger Padres guests of the year.
All right. Safe travels, boys.
All right. We will talk to you tomorrow morning from Peoria, Arizona, 7 o'clock Mountain, 6 o'clock Pacific time. Best of Ben and Woods. One more hour coming up. Don't go away. We roll on here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.